Part 33. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 325. The hot pot is delicious, but it's too spicy. The more you eat the bottom of the pot, the stronger the flavor becomes. I don't know if I've developed a resistance to the spiciness after eating. It's indeed not as spicy as before, but Shang Zuoyan also said that it might be. It was so spicy that I couldn't even feel my lips. At first she maintained her image and cared about her lipstick, but later she stopped caring about it when it got too spicy. Her mouth was full of oil after eating, and she spent more than 20 minutes just touching up her makeup after eating. Ah, it feels so good. While walking back, Shang Zuoyan rubbed her slightly bulging belly, feeling very satisfied. Yes, they were walking back. Although the way back was very far and the navigation said it might take more than an hour, Shang Zuoyan still did not choose to take a taxi. Instead, she wanted to take a walk with Gu Huiyan to digest food. Of course, she didn't deny that she wanted to spend more time with Gu Huiyan. She knew very well that once she went back, there seemed to be no reason for her to stay with Gu Huiyan. Just separated. Gu Huiyan walked with her. On the way back, Shang Zuoyan obviously talked a lot less and was not as lively as before. Gu Huiyan noticed this when he was about to finish eating at the hot pot restaurant. Can't you leave? Have no idea. Isn't today too beautiful? Even Gu Huiyan is a little nostalgic for such beauty. He doesn't want Shang Zuoyan to go, no one wants her to go. Shang Zuoyan was carrying a white bag, not big, but very small, with rabbit patterns embroidered on it, which looked very nice. She was walking in front with her hands behind her back, but when she heard these words, she suddenly turned around and looked at Gu Huiyan stupidly. At this time, they happened to come to a corner, and the dim light of the street lamp fell down, shining on half of her pretty face, and seemed to cast a shadow on the other half of her pretty face. She pursed her lips and smiled, as if she was relaxed, and said, "The contract is signed and it only lasts for 3 years. How can I not leave? Breach of contract." Gu Huiyan said like a nouveau riche. "I'll pay you liquidated damages." Shang Zuoyan laughed after hearing this, came closer to Gu Huiyan, and asked funnily, "What are you doing? Do you want to support me?" Her expression seemed to be saying, "Do you think I, Shang Zuoyan, am a woman who needs a man to support her? Not me." Just when Gu Huiyan was about to say something, Shang Zuoyan raised her beautiful hand and put 2 fingers on his lips, and then, gently, he shook his head. Once upon a time, she really needed Gu Huiyan to tell her that he liked her, and she needed Gu Huiyan to give her a promise and give her everything she wanted. Even after experiencing so many things, she still wanted those things, but also because of what she had experienced, she knew she couldn't have them. In the past, they had thought about the consequences of being together, but she never thought about hurting Gu Huiyan. She is not afraid of being scolded, and it's not like she has never been scolded before, but she doesn't want Huiyan to be scolded, never. Those words were suppressed by Shang Zuoyan, so in the end Gu Huiyan didn't say anything. He just felt a little suffocated, as if there were some words in his heart that he couldn't say. Shang Zuoyan turned around and continued walking. It is worth mentioning that she did not hold hands with Gu Huiyan on the way back, but walked in front alone. When they reached the bridge across the river, they didn't know whether it was a coincidence or not, but they happened to reach the bridge where they could see the night view of Hanja Cave. Wow! So beautiful! They didn't expect to see the night view of Hanja Cave, but they didn't expect to see it by mistake. Sure enough, as said on the internet, Hanja Cave is more beautiful at night than during the day. "Let's stay a while, huh?" Shang Zuoyan asked Gu Huiyan for permission. It was a bit cold at night on the river, and the cool breeze kept blowing. She was wearing very thin clothes, but she didn't know if it was because she had just eaten the spicy hot pot, but she didn't feel cold at all. The wind blew her hair, making her look a little dreamy. Gu Huiyan took off his coat and put it on her body. When she noticed it, she couldn't help but say, "It seems that we can no longer call you a stinky straight man. You should change your name to a warm man." Gu Huiyan shook his head and smiled. He had never taken these things seriously. They stayed on the bridge for a short time. Because it was very cold and there were many people, they were afraid of being recognized, so they crossed the river and went back. When they arrived at Jifangbei pedestrian street, Shang Zuoyan said she was thirsty, so Gu Huiyan went to buy her milk tea. However, she was wrapped in Gu Huiyan's coat because she was cold, so Gu Huiyan carried the milk tea for her. The two of them just walked slowly to the hotel where Shang Zuoyan was staying without talking. It's funny to say that after they had been having a sweet day, they seemed to have nothing to say in the end. The closer they get to the hotel, the slower their pace becomes. Feel sorry. When they were almost there, Gu Huiyan handed Shang Zuoyan milk tea and said, "I seem to have accidentally drank your milk tea just now." He had been carrying 2 cups. Gu Huiyan was easily confused, so he accidentally drank the wrong cup just now. I thought Shang Zuoyan wouldn't mind, but she actually looked like she was about to cry and said, "Why are you drinking my milk tea?" As he spoke, the tears started to fall. Shang Zuoyan didn't cry all day today, she was either smiling or feeling shy, but now for some reason, she couldn't stop crying. "You have your own, why do you want to drink mine?" She hit Gu Huiyan with a pink fist. After the blow, she tilted her head as if in anger, tears streaming down her face. "Why are you so careless? Why do you want to drink my milk tea? They're all the same, mine doesn't taste any better." She said it many times, crying all the time, and her mask got wet. Gu Huiyan said nothing and let her cry and make trouble. Occasionally, passers-by would pass by and cast curious glances, thinking to themselves, didn't they just drink the wrong cup of milk tea? As for crying like this, if you mind that much, you might as well buy another drink. This girl is too unreasonable and makes a fuss out of a molehill. But maybe Gu Huiyan and Shang Zuoyan knew that she was definitely not crying because of the milk tea. All right. Gu Huiyan held her and comforted her for a long time. Finally, Shang Zuoyan wiped her tears in his arms and said in a crying voice, "I don't care, you have to make it up to me. Okay, you can make whatever compensation you want." At this moment, to be honest, Gu Huiyan couldn't refuse any conditions she proposed. "I want to hear you sing." Shang Zuoyan raised her head and pushed away the messy hair scattered on her forehead. "Can you sing a song that belongs only to me?" Gu Huiyan wrote songs for her, Calories, Your Smile, as well as the previous Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs and the song Listen to Me. But she always felt that none of the songs really belonged to her, and they all seemed to comfort herself. She wanted to have a song that only she knew. Good. Gu Huiyan did not refuse, even though he had known for a long time that there was a guitar in Shang Zuoyan's hotel room, and this matter had been premeditated, but he did not choose to expose it. It's so cold." When Shang Zuoyan returned to the hotel, she still turned on the air conditioner first and then went upstairs to take off her clothes. In fact, she originally planned to take off her clothes on the first floor. Wasn't this because Gu Huiyan was here? When she came down, she changed into a pair of pajamas. She chose to get along with Gu Huiyan in the most comfortable manner. When she came down, Gu Huiyan was already playing with the guitar she brought. "How did you know there was a guitar here?" She pouted and lowered her head, as if she had been discovered. "I saw it at noon." Gu Huiyan shook his head. Although it was a bit embarrassing to be discovered, Shang Zuoyan was not too petty. She brought 2 bottles of wine and found 2 glasses and placed them on the table. Pattering. After pouring wine into the square wine glass, she handed one to Gu Huiyan, holding the other glass in her arms, her naked, round and slender legs huddled at the edge of the sofa. She just looked at Gu Huiyan like this, as if waiting for his performance. Dong dong. Gu Huiyan played the guitar twice, and instead of singing in a hurry, he picked up the wine glass and took a sip, as if to strengthen his courage. I know what style of song you like, but as for this song, I won't ask for your opinion. Gu Huiyan said casually and told her. This song is called Shan Shan. After Gu Huiyan was ready, he originally planned to play the guitar and start singing, but who knew that Shang Zuoyan suddenly raised his hand to interrupt him. Hey, wait, I want to record it. She got up fussily to find her cell phone and turned on the recording function. Then she found another cell phone and turned on the recording function and put it on the table. She was really serious. Gu Huiyan was also patient, waiting for her to finish playing with it, and then waited for her to retract back to the sofa, and then started to play gently. Dong dong. The gentle melody was played on Gu Huiyan's fingertips. After all, he was a professional musician. His guitar skills were not outstanding. Shang Zuoyan always admired these people who knew how to play musical instruments. Don't look at her. I carry a guitar with me everywhere. This guitar is not cheap, but it is really just entry level. She looked at Gu Huiyan with admiration. She always liked to listen to Gu Huiyan sing. Shan Shan, have you slept well recently? I haven't talked to you for a long time. See, your signature says. If you have positive energy. The name of this song is Shan Shan, but no matter Gu Huiyan or Shang Zuoyan, they all know that this song is clearly sung by Shang Zuoyan. He just chose a pseudonym. The sentence signed by Shang Zuoyan in her circle of friends, which Gu Huiyan just read the day before yesterday, is called. So, as long as you feel it's worth it, that's fine. This is very much like her, like what she would say. She has always been willful along the way, but she has never regretted anything. She always feels that it is worth it, even if she has paid such a painful price now. A few short lyrics, like what Gu Huiyan wanted to say to Shang Zuoyan, made her feel very warm and romantic. She also fully knew that the man in front of her understood her very well. This is perfectly explained in the next two lyrics. The more lively you are, the sadder it will be. The more free and easy you are, the harder it is to let go. As an adult, emotions are always expressed in reverse. After a few cups of yellow soup, you said. Gu Huiyan's singing ability is really high. For such a ballad-like song, he did not choose to use any fancy techniques, but only used the most heartfelt and pure tone to interpret it. His voice had feeling, and his burning eyes felt even more. Before today, Gu Huiyan hadn't seen that beautiful girl Shang Zuoyan who was lively, cheerful, and optimistic, and could happily spin around in circles after eating her favorite cake. Because of their relationship and the noise on the internet, she had been on a downward spiral after the concert that year. Whether it was because she was trapped in love or something else, the lively girl she once was seemed to have disappeared. Even today, Gu Huiyan doesn't feel that she has returned to her original appearance. Yes, today she is still lively and cheerful, and she is not very deliberate, but she gives people the impression of being helpless after being indifferent. Forced adjustment. A mask that is well-intentioned and put on for oneself because one does not want others to worry. She was obviously like this in the past, but now she needed to make a mask for herself according to her past appearance and put it on her face with her own hands. Isn't it exactly what he sang in those two lyrics? The more lively you are, the sadder you are, the more free and easy you are, the more you can't let go? To be honest, her acting skills were really poor. At least Gu Huai's security department could see it, and he even believed that everyone around him could see it too. Why are my steps gradually slowing down as I walk? Why does life become protracted when you are busy? The old buildings on the street corners have been torn down, and nostalgic people live in lively and prosperous buildings. Shang Zuoyan didn't cry or laugh, She just held the wine glass blankly and silently, brought it close to her lips, and took a gentle sip. The wine was not delicious, bitter and spicy, but Shang Zuoyan didn't seem to notice it at all. I love you so much, but my lover disappears. Thinking about it, I'm still confused. What a special person it was. Ordinary. Thrown into the sea of people in a hurry. Gu Huiyan sang the phrase "what a special person we were back then" very seriously. Yes, Shang Zuoyan was so special back then. People would notice her at first sight when she was in a crowd. She was hot. Passionate, unrestrained, and enthusiastic, she once lived a life that all girls envied. Why do such girls lose? Why does she have to go through so many destructive things? Why should she take all the responsibility for their affairs and go to a foreign country? Gu Huiyan is always shy about speaking disgusting words, so his words are often found in songs. Fortunately, there are always some songs that can express his thoughts. Slowly, Shang Zuoyan's eyes turned red. Stop singing, what are you singing about? She raised her foot and kicked Gu Huiyan from a distance, and started to cry again in her voice. She really didn't want to cry when she saw Gu Huiyan for the last time, but look at what the stinky bastard was singing. She disliked such sad songs. She had openly expressed this when she first listened to Gu Huiyan's song "The Name Engraved in My Heart." Gu Huiyan, an idiot, knew this but still sang such a song. Yes, it is indeed quite suitable for the occasion, but it can also make people emotional. She really doesn't want to and can't fall in love anymore, okay? Everything today has gone too far. After you listen. Gu Huiyan also wanted to say that the second half of the song would actually be somewhat comforting, but Shang Zuoyan couldn't listen to it anymore. She wiped her tears, waved her hands and said, "That's it, that's enough. I don't want to hear the whole story, as if our story is over. Half of it is good." At this point, she paused and looked at Gu Huiyan with a pair of red eyes. She finally couldn't bear to say the second half of the sentence, so she kept it in her heart and called it. "Just like us, we end up in vain." Gu Huiyan was silent for a while, and then, "Can you please stop leaving?" He threw the guitar aside, leaned over, hugged Shang Zuoyan, and finally said these words again. He whispered in Shang Zuoyan's ear. "No matter what happens, don't leave. I'll help you pay the liquidated damages. I can write songs for you, produce albums for you, and you can make movies if you want. It's all up to you, as long as you don't leave." At this moment, Gu Huiyan finally spoke out what he had been holding back for a long time. Gu Huiyan didn't know how he would handle their relationship if Shang Zuoyan stayed, but he really didn't want to let Shang Zuoyan leave. He does have the ability to make Shang Zuoyan come back again. At this moment, he really just. "I don't want her to go." But before he finished speaking, Shang Zuoyan raised her hand to cover his mouth just like when she came out from the hot pot tonight. This time Gu Huiyan didn't ask her to gag him as he did before. He grabbed Shang Zuoyan's hand, stared straight into her beautiful big eyes, and said, "There's no reason for you to bear all the responsibility for our affairs. Why? Why don't you share some of it with me?" Gu Huiyan's mood was not very stable. He said, "Don't you make me look too unmanly. I will be scolded to death." Even if she is responsible, Gu Huiyan should also bear some responsibilities. She took all the responsibilities at once, which seemed like she was being righteous. Have you thought about what Gu Huiyan felt? Shang Zuoyan stared blankly at Gu Huiyan, who was holding her, watching him collapse and looking anxious. She didn't know why, but she felt very satisfied. Then, "Pook." She actually laughed. "What are you laughing at?" Gu Huiyan was a little crazy. "Is this the time to laugh?" "Gu Huiyan." Shang Zuoyan struggled in Gu Huiyan's arms, and she said in a very arrogant tone, "You can't bear to leave me, can you?" Gu Huiyan was a little silent, probably because he had said a lot just now. Gu Huiyan was a little short of words. He stared into Shang Xueyan's eyes and said seriously, "I don't want you to leave." No one knows how lethal these words are to Shang Xueyan. If it could be described by a weapon in this world, the only thing Shang Xueyan can think of is a nuclear bomb. Not because its power can be interpreted, but because Shang Xueyan could only think of this. To be honest, when she heard these words, her heart trembled violently. At that moment, the thought of staying really flashed through her mind. Stay, don't leave, isn't she always like this, risking her life for love, not caring about anything, not caring about anything? Not leaving. Don't go. Leave. Even if every day in the future would not be as sweet as today, at least she would be satisfied by being by his side. Don't leave. Really, I don't want to leave. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Xuan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 326. Unfortunately, in the end, all those remaining thoughts were cruelly thrown away by Shang Xueyan. Indeed, maybe she has always been the woman who worked hard for love and didn't care about anything. Maybe she is the love brain in the true sense. But it was precisely because of this that she paid the price now. Gu Huiyan said that she took over all the responsibilities in one fell swoop, making Gu Huiyan look less like a man. Actually not. It's because Shang Xueyan knows that she is the culprit of everything, and because she knows that everything happened because of herself, that's why she does this. In her eyes, everything Gu Huiyan has experienced in the past 6 months has been caused by her. Even though she was not wishful thinking, Gu Huiyan was not unmoved by it, but she was still the sinner who messed everything up. So her leaving was not only out of necessity, but also like atonement. If it's wrong, it's wrong. As the initiator, she needs to put everything back on track. They would all be just fine without her. Gu Huiyan. Shang Xueyan was wearing pink pajamas. She always liked to dress very pink like a girl. She gently put down the square wine glass in her hand. She squirmed slightly in Gu Huiyan's arms. She tried her best to smile. But her eyes were red, but she didn't seem very happy at all. In the end, she could only say miserably, "I miss you." Gu Huiyan was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Shang Xueyan to speak English to him. His English was not good, but this sentence just didn't touch his blind spot. He knew that this sentence meant "I miss you," so he subconsciously answered author. "I miss you as well." But who knew, Shang Xueyan actually shook her head gently. With her hair disheveled, her hair would move when she shook her head, which was always interesting. When Gu Huiyan looked at her with doubtful eyes, her red lips, which were so spicy from tonight's hot pot, opened slightly. "Explain." "I said, I missed you." At this moment, Shang Xueyan looked very stubborn. Even though her eyes were filled with tears, she gritted her teeth and did not let a single tear fall. Gu Huiyan didn't say anything else, maybe because he knew he couldn't keep Shang Xueyan. He just held her tightly, unwilling to let go for a second, as if she would leave immediately if he let go. They just held it for a long time. Shang Xueyan whispered in Gu Huiyan's ear, "I want to listen to Contentment." Gu Huiyan was stunned for a moment when he heard this, and subconsciously said, "Don't you like this song?" "How do you know I don't like it?" Shang Xueyan was also stunned for a moment. Although she did not like this song, she didn't seem to have told Gu Huiyan to listen to it, right? Guessed. Gu Huiyan casually made an excuse and dealt with it. "Can you sing it to me?" Shang Xueyan asked. "Sure." Gu Huiyan took back the guitar that he had ruthlessly discarded, played it gently, and sang Contentment for Shang Xueyan. Speaking of which, they were quite luxurious tonight. Gu Huiyan was still a top-tier singer after all. Normally, it would cost hundreds of thousands to sing a song at a commercial performance outside, But tonight Shang Zuoyan had already ordered 2 songs for free. Dong dong. The melody is somewhat healing, but the lyrics are not pleasant. How to have a rainbow. How to hug a summer wind. When she heard the familiar phrase, if you are not happy for me, will you let me go, Shang Zuoyan almost couldn't hold back. Even though the song Contentment has been listened to by many people on a loop in the days that followed, Shang Zuoyan will always remember the scene when she listened to the song for the first time. It was during the recording of Crystal Love Season in Yunnan, and it was the night when actor Su confessed to Xilan and was rejected. This song is the beginning of the friendship between Gu Huiyan and Su Yuntang. At that time, Shang Zuoyan didn't like the song when she first heard it, and at that time she hated the phrase if you are not happy for me, will letting go actually be possession. At that time, she thought that she would get what she wanted no matter what the cost. Let go? That's just the behavior of a weak person. But now, after experiencing so many things, after being stubborn and unwilling to let go for so long, after torturing many people, after making everyone pay for their own willfulness, she also slowly understood the meaning of this lyrics. After singing Contentment, it was already very late, almost 12 o'clock in the evening. Gu Huiyan has a flight tomorrow morning. He has been very busy with concerts recently and can't get away at all. It's really nice to be able to squeeze out a day. Shang Zuoyan also has a flight tomorrow morning and will be leaving the country soon. She has to make some preparations and meet her friends and family before leaving. These are unavoidable. I'm leaving. Standing at the door, Gu Huiyan didn't open the door for a long time. Because he knew very well that after this separation, it might not be 3 or 5 years before he could see Shang Zuoyan again. Let's go, why are you so grinding? Shang Zuoyan had obviously adjusted her mood. She smiled and said in a relaxed tone. Forget about me and go chase her back. I'm optimistic about you and will cheer you up from a distance. Gu Huiyan smiled reluctantly, then opened the door, lowered the brim of his hat, and left. Shang Zuoyan didn't dare to stand at the door with the door open for long, because she was afraid that someone would take a secret photo. If she was photographed, it would be unclear. But similarly, she didn't close the door. She just stood blankly at the cracked doorway for a long time. The smile on her face didn't disappear, and her eyes didn't lose their sparkle. She didn't look sad or unhappy, just. My heart feels empty. This sweet day ended like this. She was so reluctant to let go. I can't let go of that feeling, I can't let go of caring for Huiyan, I can't let go of everything in the country. Although she knew very well that Gu Huiyan was so kind to her because she was leaving, she felt nostalgic and reluctant to let him go. But she has to leave after all. Just like the door in front of her, even though she didn't want to close it, even though she wanted to open it and poke her head out to see Gu Huiyan's leaving figure, she couldn't take that step. Sometimes, she would also think about how great it would be if Gu Huiyan stayed tonight instead of leaving. Even though today has passed, there is still number 24 hours since they met. If she had been more willful, he would definitely stay because he was so soft-hearted. If he stays, they will really become complete boyfriend and girlfriend. This idea quickly took root in her heart. Even at this moment, Shang Zuoyan always had the urge to rush out and call out Gu Huiyan, just like she had tried to persuade Gu Huiyan to stay at the end of the concert. Her 2 jade hands were holding pink fists, and her delicate body was trembling slightly, as if she was enduring a lot of hardship. But in the end, as time passed, it became more and more clear to me that Gu Huiyan had gone far, and even if I called him, he would not be able to come back. Slowly, she let go. Her pink fists were no longer clenched, and her delicate body no longer trembled. She just sighed silently and walked forward gently to close the door to the room. After all, it is a 5-star hotel. The door is very quiet and makes no sound at all. It is impossible to make a crunching sound. Shang Zuoyan lowered her head, just enough to see the door closing little by little. That gap is getting smaller and smaller. Looking at it will be completely closed. But it was at that moment. Ta-ta! A rush of footsteps sounded from the corridor outside. The sound was not loud. After all, there were carpets in the corridors of the hotel, so even running wildly would not make a lot of noise. But it's obvious, quite outstanding. Next moment. Boom. One foot got stuck in the last gap before Shang Xuan closed the door. Make her door unable to be closed no matter what. Ah! Shang Xuan was startled and looked outside in surprise at Gu Huiyan, who was still out of breath after running all the way. Huh. Gu Huiyan had one foot stuck on the crack of the door and pressed the door with one hand. He was probably out of breath from running all the way back. This corridor is indeed a bit long. But his eyes were staring straight at Shang Xuan through the crack in the door. What? Did you forget something? At that time, Shang Xuan didn't know why Gu Huiyan came back, but she was very happy to see him come back. She opened the door subconsciously and wanted to tease Gu Huiyan for being so reluctant to leave her. Who knows the next moment? Well. Gu Huiyan suddenly rushed forward. He hugged Shang Xuan and kissed her unceremoniously and mercilessly. He was very rude. At first, Shang Xuan didn't know what happened. Her brain was confused at that moment. She was probably splashed by this. The wealth of heaven goes to my head. It wasn't until Gu Huiyan started kissing her neck, taking off her clothes, and lifting the pink sweater she was wearing from the hem that she seemed to understand something. She subconsciously pressed her hand on Gu Huiyan's hand as he took off her clothes. Unfortunately, her strength was too weak, and she really couldn't stop Gu Huiyan. Soon, she fell into it and began to respond to Gu Huiyan awkwardly. They kissed and walked into the room. Before leaving, Gu Huiyan raised his foot and kicked it casually. Bang! The door closed so easily. Gu Huiyan hugged her and put her on the table, then on the sofa, and then on the bed. Sometimes Shang Xuan couldn't help but think about how she was really like a real-life Barbie doll, being walked around casually. Let it go. Having said that, she really rarely sits at the table. Crash. The rain outside the window started to fall again at some point. This night. Precarious. The next day. Early morning. Diddy. Gu Huiyan was woken up by the alarm clock set on his cell phone. When I sat up and rubbed my eyes in a daze, I stopped the alarm clock and looked around me. There was nothing there. Shang Xuan has disappeared. On the bed sheets, some bright colors stand out, even more conspicuous than those eye-catching bags. It is worth mentioning that the weather is very good today. Chongqing, which has been raining for several days, has finally cleared up today. Because I live very high, more than 40 floors up, the lighting here is very good, and the sunlight flows through the gaps in the curtains. It was refracted and hit the wooden floor of the bedroom. The picture was pretty good. After a while, Gu Huiyan put on his clothes and went downstairs. He originally thought Shang Xuan had gotten up early to pack his things, until he went downstairs and saw. When I saw that in the room that was originally littered with all kinds of flashy Shang Xuan's clothes, there was nothing related to her. Only then did I realize that she seemed to be gone. Standing in the empty room, Gu Huiyan felt empty. He seemed to still be able to see the scene where he and Shang Xuan were taking a bath in the bathtub and watching a movie on the sofa together yesterday. He remembered that Shang Xuan always muttered something last night. Gu Huiyan, it hurts. At first he cared about Huiyan because she was in physical pain, but then he realized belatedly that she was probably. My heart hurts. She still left. She had always been like this, like a stubborn donkey, always so willful, making decisions that no one could tell. There was breakfast on the table, as well as 2 scarves. One was the pink and white scarf that Shang Zuoyan had shown him when he was making video calls, and the other was a gray one. She left a card with some message-like words on it. The flight was a little early, so I didn't call you because you were still sleeping. Please forgive me. It's the last time anyway. Actually, I only bought one scarf at first. Then I thought that Pei Jingshu would definitely ask you when I took the pink one back, so I bought another gray one. How about it? I'm very considerate, right? Although it's disgusting, let me say a few words, Gu Huiyan, everything I have chosen to be today is my own choice. No matter what I become, no matter how much I pay for it, I have never regretted it, so there is no need for you to feel guilty for my leaving. I hope you can live well in the future. Well, I really won't write any words of farewell, so let's leave it at that. Anyway, I'm leaving. Thank you for yesterday. Regardless of whether you were so kind to me because I was leaving, I'm really satisfied. Real. The message ended here. It was as plain as a pebble thrown into the sea, not stirring up any water. Gu Huiyan noticed that there was no end in her message, as if she couldn't bear to end their story. But no matter what, it seems that their story has come to an end. Gu Huiyan said nothing more. It seemed that he knew that no matter what happened last night, Shang Zuoyan was going to leave. He just silently finished the breakfast she ordered for him, then returned to the hotel where he was staying, washed briefly, packed his luggage, and set off on his way back. On the way back, I felt a little stuck. The system happened to prompt me that points would be credited to my account. It seemed that points would be credited to my account if someone watched the previous program. Slowly, Gu Huiyan is now resting on his laurels. He is earning points every day without doing much work. This system of yours, if it had more functions, labor and management would not be in the same situation as today. Gu Huiyan couldn't help but complain. Then the funny thing is, I don't know if it's because I feel sorry for Gu Huiyan, but the system actually pops up a prompt. Ding, I noticed that the host was in a bad mood and gave me a free song, code dot. What the hell? Gu Huiyan was stunned. Is your system so casual? Is there a reward for complaining? Then Gu Huiyan can't complain every day. Then Gu Huiyan complained all the way on the plane. As a result, the system never let go of anything since code, and the MD player disappeared. Ciao. Gu Huiyan had no choice but to give up the system and took a few glances at the song code. I have to say that the system is very good at selecting songs, and this song is indeed very suitable for him and Shang Zuoyan. When he landed at the airport, after meeting Zhang Nuan and others who came to pick him up, Gu Huiyan handed them the song code and asked them to find a music studio to see when they could record it. How can we have time to prepare new songs? There is less than a week left before the concert day, and the remaining few days have to be devoted to the concert. Where can I find the time to write new songs? Then Gu Huiyan repeated the world-famous saying. Time is like water in a sponge, there is always time when you squeeze it. Zhang Nuan. At that time, I was completely silenced. Okay. Let's go. Gu Huiyan got in the car. He couldn't tell whether he was in a good mood that day. If you said he was in a good mood, it must be a lie. Shang Zuoyan took all the responsibilities on his own and left like this. If Gu Huiyan was still in a good mood, he was just born. But it doesn't seem like I'm in a bad mood. Shang Zuoyan is very smart. She knows that no matter what, if she leaves, even if it makes Gu Huiyan feel empty or even missing a piece, at least she won't feel as guilty as before. No matter what Gu Huiyan thinks, after returning from Chongqing, he will have the thought in his heart that things related to Shang Zuoyan are over. It is also because of these thoughts that some of the burdens on his shoulders will be lifted, making him feel lighter. People. Once you feel more relaxed, your mood will automatically improve. That song. Thinking of this, Gu Huiyan couldn't help but said to his assistant. Try to make it before the concert. Assistant. They want to say, brother, do you still think the workload is not big enough? You know, they are not only busy with concerts recently, but also with some new songs. Gu Huiyan has prepared some new songs for the concert, and those songs will be released on major music platforms along with the exposure that night of the concert. They've been busy just communicating with the platform recently, so Gu Huiyan has jammed another song. I really don't want people to live anymore, brother. Gu Huiyan laughed and said that in the worst case, he would just pull out one of the songs he had prepared. Anyway, this song should be done before the concert. Shang Zuoyan said that she left the day before Gu Huiyan's concert, so Gu Huiyan naturally wanted her to hear the song before leaving. When she was in Chongqing, Gu Huiyan sang a song Shan Shan to her. Although it suited her very well, she was not satisfied and didn't like it. She never gets rid of her habit of liking lively songs. And the melody of Code suits her very well. Speaking of Shan Shan, Gu Huiyan was actually very nice to his assistants, and he didn't mention recording this song together, otherwise he would be really busy, haha. A few days after returning from Chongqing, Gu Huiyan concentrated on the concert. He's been busy these past few days. The busy Gu Huiyan feels like he's back to his original peak, but he quite likes this feeling. After all, who doesn't like the feeling of struggle? And it was almost the fourth day after Chongqing came back, which was the third day before the concert started. Gu Huiyan was busy rehearsing when he suddenly heard his assistant say, "Sister Xylin is here to visit the class. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 327. Chapter 322. Xilin's pastoral life, bought a small courtyard, made frozen eggs. Visiting class. This term often appears among artist groups. For example, an actor is filming on the set, and his friends and family come to visit the crew. It is also like Gu Huiyan preparing for a concert in full swing, and Sister Xylin comes to visit the crew. It is worth mentioning that when many well-known artists visit classes, they often prepare some gifts for the staff in the same group, mostly food, snacks, and the like. Sister Xylin did prepare drinks and snacks for everyone in Gu Huiyan's concert team today, but in addition to that, she also brought a batch of shoes that she was running to create a brand, one pair for each person. The white, versatile sports style has a shiny top and is very comfortable to wear on the feet. The soles are very soft when walking, and they are not tiring or abrasive to the feet. They are quite good in terms of comfort and appearance. The working group checked the price of the shoes knowingly. "Good guy, it's more than 1,000 for a pair. You know, the total number of their concert work team must be 100 or 200 people. If each person has a pair, this is 100,000 or 200,000. When I come to visit a class, the gift alone is 100,000 or 200,000. Isn't this considered a big deal? Thank you, Sister Xylin." Many staff members thanked her profusely, saying that Xylin was indeed a top-notch actress, and she was generous with her money. "You are really generous, Sister Xylin." Even Gu Huiyan was surprised when he heard that a pair of these shoes cost more than $1,000. "I came to visit you. If I don't do something generous, wouldn't it be embarrassing for you?" Xylin shook her head and smiled, looking very plain. She was afraid that Gu Huiyan would think the shoes were expensive, so she comforted him and said, "The price on the official website is the price for external sales. The actual product I bought is not that expensive. Don't worry about it. Isn't our relationship worth the gift money?" There is another thing she didn't say, that is, her sister is not short of money. As a red carpet goddess, Xylin has actually been building her own luxury brand. She has unique vision, good taste, and has a movable sign like her own, so she launches new clothes, shoes, and bags every quarter. As long as it will be sold out as soon as it goes online. There won't even be one pair of socks left. Internet celebrities can sell goods in seconds, so how come a powerful movie queen with high national popularity like my sister has no support? Gu Huiyan smiled and nodded. Today's weather is a bit cold, and the temperature cannot be said to be high, but the sun is out after all. It's really comfortable to bask in the sun on days when the sun is out in the south. It feels like the moisture on your body has been expelled to some extent. Xylin held a cup of coffee and sat on the edge of the stage with Gu Huiyan to bask in the sun. She also watched the people coming and going in the place and felt very comfortable. It is worth mentioning that my sister's outfit is always very simple. Even in winter, she just wears a pair of white straight pants and a light brown sweater, with a darker coat on top to give some contrast. Then put a plaid scarf casually around your neck, and let your hair fall down casually, making it look very layered. Autumn and winter are really a good season for girls who know how to wear coats. Needless to say, scarves. Shang Zuoyan showed Gu Huiyan many ways to tie scarves before, but today Xylin used practical actions to tell Gu Huiyan that the simpler, the better it looks. Looking at her, the scarf is not tied at all, it is just put on the neck casually, like a Tibetan wearing a kata for guests, giving it a very high-end feel. All I can say is that she is worthy of being a sister. Why are you staring at me like that? Is there something wrong with me? Maybe she noticed Lao Lu's gaze. Xylin couldn't help but asked in a funny way. My sister held the coffee in one hand and put it in her pocket with the other hand. Her legs were slightly raised. She looked very comfortable and in good condition. It is said that Xylin has always been in good condition. From the time they met until now, Gu Huiyan has seen anyone look embarrassed, but he has never seen his sister look unrefined. No, it's just, it feels like I haven't seen you for a long time. Gu Huiyan said funnily. You were in such a hurry to leave last time that you didn't even have time to say goodbye. The last time we met was on the final day of filming. Xylin did not attend the celebration party that night. She hurried away after the group photo was taken, saying that there was an international film festival opening. In those few days, Gu Huiyan actually felt that something was not right with Sister Xylin, but he was too embarrassed to say it. It feels like Gu Huiyan is quite surprised that she can come to visit the class this time. To be honest, this world is really very realistic. When Gu Huiyanhong was in the past, he wished that all kinds of people would visit him. It's over now. Although comeback is not a big problem, not many people will come to visit him at this time. At this stage, not many people really want to have anything to do with him. Sister Xylin, on the other hand, has always been by Gu Huiyan's side, whether it was before the storm started, when the storm was at its most intense, or now, when the storm is about to end. I've been too busy lately. Speaking of these, Xylin reluctantly flipped her hair. She admitted that she had personal reasons for not contacting Gu Huiyan for a long time, but she was indeed too busy. Towards the end of the year, it is the busiest time for female celebrities. After the filming of Go Where the Wind Is was completed, she went to several overseas events, and then the brand had new clothes for the new season. After returning to China, she caught up with a few announcements. The New Year's Eve period is coming soon. In a few days, she may have to go to the Spring Festival Gala to participate in the platoon. Being too red is also a helplessness sometimes. Thank you for visiting me. Gu Huiyan thanked Xylin generously, and Xylin couldn't help laughing after hearing this. Since when have you been so polite to me? It felt like Gu Huiyan was a little different from before during this meeting. Gu Huiyan didn't say anything, just smiled softly. I'd like to remind you in advance that I didn't come to visit the class in vain. There is a price. Xylin teased Gu Huiyan in a rare and naughty way, but before she could finish her words, Gu Huiyan took out 2 concert tickets from his pocket and handed them to her. Xylin was stunned for a moment and couldn't help asking funnily. How do you know I'm here to ask for tickets? Sister Zhang Yao has come to see me several times. Gu Huiyan held her forehead silently. The young woman Yao always thought that they had a good relationship, so she didn't care about Gu Huiyan asking for tickets recently. It was said that it was not just her who asked for tickets, but many friends asked for them. Among them, Shen Qingqing, the little girl, is the most popular. This woman bombards Gu Huiyan with phone calls every now and then. The Shangzuoyan group, strictly speaking, it should be the three members of the former group, Su Xiun, Shen Yuqi, and Han Xianji, but they didn't ask for it a few times before Gu Huiyan gave it to them. After all, Shangzuoyan said that if any of her friends wanted tickets, let Gu Huiyan give them the tickets he was going to give her. Of course, Gu Huiyan satisfied her desire to save face, and emphasized several times that this was given to them for Shangzuoyan's face, which gave her enough face. Gu Huiyan gave some of the remaining tickets to his family or some close friends. For example, his younger brother Gu Zun, this kid happened to be on winter vacation. He was clamoring to come to Gu Huiyan's concert. If his own brother didn't give it to him, who else could he give it to? Secondly, there are some childhood friends, etc. Generally speaking, as long as they open their mouths and care about Huiyan, it is difficult not to give them this kind of relationship. Finally, there are some friends in the industry who have interests and resource exchanges. These are unavoidable. Thinking of this, Gu Huiyan was glad that a lot of tickets could be reserved for the concert. There are also some unspoken rules for concerts that outsiders are not familiar with. For example, the maximum public ticket sales for each concert is 75 to 80%, and about 20% is reserved for relatives and friends. Ticket, also known as relationship ticket. In this worldly society, everyone has to pay for some favors. Even if the singer who holds the concert does not pay for it, the organizer, sponsors, company bosses, etc. also have to pay for their connections. The tickets that are generally reserved are basically pretty good locations. If you can't use it in the end, you can resell it to scalpers, who can sell it at sky-high prices and get a share of the profits. So in fact, Gu Huiyan has quite a lot of tickets. Excluding Mother Zhang, he can also have a lot of tickets in his hand to give to his friends. That Gu Huiyan left it for Pei Jingshu and Shangzuoyan. There was no reason not to leave it for Sister Xylin. The young woman Yao has been annoying him these days. As soon as Xylin said that there was a price for visiting the class, Gu Huiyan knew that she must ask for tickets. I guess Sister Zhang Yao came here to get it from you, right? Gu Huiyan asked. The elder sister pursed her lips and smiled lightly, and casually took the tickets from Gu Huiyan. She was not polite at all, but asked with a smile. So why don't you just give it to her? This is not prepared for her. Gu Huiyan shrugged and said it naturally. Xylin naturally got his point. To be honest, she was quite happy at that time and felt that her brother was partial to her. She says. It seems that today is indeed not in vain. Tickets for Gu Huiyan's concert are now sold at the highest price in the front row, which is almost 70,000 to 80,000 yuan. The two tickets in her hand are the best seats. You can't buy them if you have money outside. If you buy these two tickets outside, it is estimated that they will be expensive. It must be 1 or 200,000. So what she brought to visit the class today is not a loss at all, okay? Certainly. In their relationship, they naturally don't think about whether it's a loss or not. I heard that Shangzuoyan is leaving. Putting away the tickets, Xylin asked in a natural tone. Gu Huiyan nodded calmly. He knew what Sister Xylin wanted to ask, so he just said lightly. We said goodbye and I wrote a song for her. It should be released in a few days. Xylin also nodded. She understood that once Gu Huiyan said this, it meant that he had taken care of everything. The turmoil caused by Shangzuoyan finally came to an end because of her departure. After a while, she said. I should also go there every year to participate in activities. If you have words or things to bring to her in the future, I can help. Thanks. Gu Huiyan smiled and said. But it probably won't happen anymore. If it's broken, it should be broken. Shang Zuoyan wants him to forget her, and Gu Huiyan also wants her to forget herself. So, don't give me anything, bring anything that can bring back memories. No need. Probably because she felt that the topic was a bit heavy, Xylan did not stop at this topic and instead smiled. I heard that Pei Jingshu is going to have a concert here on the same day. She probably won't be able to come. Do you know about this? No. Gu Huiyan smiled helplessly and said. I only heard about it after I gave her the ticket. Speaking of this, he also felt that his intelligence work was so rubbish. How could he only know about the concert being held in the same city on the same day at that time? Then she may not be able to hear the songs you prepared, Xylan teased with a smile. Gu Huiyan was rehearsing when she came, so she heard some new works. At that time, she thought that Pei Jingshu would be very moved if she were present at the scene, but unfortunately she was not here, so preparing these would seem a bit. No point? But it's still pretty good to sing to fans. Gu Huiyan didn't seem to be unprepared for this, but instead said with a mysterious smile. The mountain man has his own clever plan. A question mark appeared above Xylan's head, and she was really curious about what Gu Huiyan had in mind. He couldn't just go to her concert in the middle of singing, right? You know, the stadiums here in Suzhou are very far away. The closest stadium to Gu Huiyan's concert is more than an hour's drive away. The stadium where Pei Jingshu is located is 1.5 to 2 miles away. Hours like this. They are separated in two places, just like the long-distance relationship in the past. If you can't see each other or touch anyone, what can you sing to others? Just be prepared. Xylan never had the habit of asking for details. She gave Gu Huiyan the right to keep the mystery and said with a smile. Then we are just waiting to see your performance on that day. On that day, she thought, she would witness the whole process from the audience. Today's work was completed relatively early, and Xylan came to visit the team. The working group took advantage of others, so they naturally gave face and ended the work an hour early in the evening. Gu Huiyan invited everyone to have a casual meal nearby. Of course, he would not drink alcohol. Singers usually pay attention to protecting their voices before a concert. Gu Huiyan didn't care. Unfortunately, the team did not allow it and the management was strict. Maybe it's been a long time since they last saw each other. Gu Huiyan and Xylan really talk a lot. In fact, many people can tell that they have a good relationship, because Gu Huiyan really doesn't seem to talk that much to others. When communicating with Xylan, he gave people the feeling that he could say anything. It is worth mentioning that during the chat, Xylan mentioned that she bought a small courtyard in Yunnan, near Yungzi village where they previously recorded Crystal Love Season. The decoration was quite good, like it's a small inn. I took my family there for a while when I had time a few days ago. It was very comfortable. Of course, there was a lot of life inside. She planted some fruits and vegetables and raised flowers in the small courtyard. However, she couldn't go there often due to work reasons, so she could only stay there for a few days every time she had a break, so she had to ask someone to help take care of it. Not only that, she also showed Gu Huiyan a photo. In the photo, she was wearing a straw hat apron and farm work gloves and digging the soil. The blazing sunshine in Dali made her look so beautiful. She seemed to really like this kind of pastoral life. She looks like a pastoral goddess in the picture. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan seemed to have some research on the cultivation of some vegetables and pointed out some shortcomings to Xylan. When Xylan asked, he replied that his grandmother grew vegetables in the yard when he was a child, so he knew a little about it. Xylan couldn't help but smile. This is for you. Later in the conversation, Xylan threw a key to Gu Huiyan. This is. A string of question marks popped up in Gu Huiyan's head. He had indeed guessed it, but he didn't dare to think about it. It's the key there. I'll send you the address back. My sister said lightly. If you go to work there and don't want to stay in a hotel, you can stay there. The hardware facilities there are better than those in the hotel. When you go there, remember to take care of the flowers and plants for me. The hardware and facilities of the place where she lives can't be inferior. Whether it's bedding, mattresses, pillows or various decorations, they will definitely be better than those of a 5-star hotel, and the comfort level will definitely not be worse. Only, is it really appropriate to give Gu Huiyan the key to his own private residence? Gu Huiyan remembered the last person who gave him the address of his apartment and said, if you don't want to live in a hotel, you can stay there. It was Pei Jingshu. It is worth mentioning that Xylan seems to have some plot. Nowadays, there are very few people like her who still use keys. They all use password locks. Do not think too much. As if she was afraid that he would misunderstand, my sister smiled and said, I'm asking you to take care of the flowers and plants for me. It's up to you to stay overnight if you don't want to. She is always very free and easy, and never takes the initiative to keep people. If you want to live there, you can live there. If you don't want to, just think that I just asked you to help take care of the flowers and plants. It's that simple. I didn't think too much. Gu Huiyan scratched his head. Xylan also smiled softly. In fact, she never thought about giving Gu Huiyan the key to the place. We started chatting now, and she felt that he knew a lot. It just so happened that she always felt that there was a lack of a male master there, so giving it to Gu Huiyan would be a good idea. Just right. One thing to say, after giving him the key, Xylan could always think of Gu Huiyan picking vegetables in a bamboo basket, or wearing short-sleeved clothes and connecting water pipes to water and fertilize the vegetable fields. It was very pastoral and very in line with her ideas. I always feel that one day. Thinking of this, a bit of hesitation flashed across her sister's pretty, exotic face. Fortunately, she quickly digested it. A mature and intellectual sister rarely hesitates, and even if she does, she will make a decision quickly. Aren't you curious about what I was busy with when I was anxious to go abroad some time ago? She picked up the teacup in front of her, took a sip from her red lips, and then asked with a smile. Didn't you say there was a film festival? Gu Huiyan was eating a dish, a beggar's chicken, which tasted pretty good. Yes, but not just. Xylan held her fragrant cheek with her hand, smiled, and asked Gu Huiyan. Remember what I said before, freezing eggs. Puff. Gu Huiyan squirted in one gulp. Cough cough cough. I choked directly. He was confused and looked at Sister Xylan with questions in his head. Xylan smiled half smilingly, with an expression like yes, I just went to have my eggs frozen. One time. It was so messy for Gu Huiyan. Don't misunderstand what Xylan said, it's not a hint. Think about it, what does frozen eggs mean? It means you can wait forever. So if you want it now, why should you freeze it? Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Xuan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 328. In January of this year, the temperature had picked up, and it was not as cold as before, especially in the north. In the past few years, there was even a phenomenon that there was no need to wear down jackets in winter. The south is not so obvious. Gu Huiyan, who is in Suzhou, still feels cold. In the past, he never understood why southerners compared northerners to which winter is colder. The winter in the north is so cold that it can freeze people's toes. Later, I often traveled to the south for work reasons, and belatedly I understood that the damp and cold that southerners refer to is quite torturous. Fortunately, after finishing this concert, Gu Huiyan no longer has to stay in Suzhou. Time passes day by day, and there is only 1 day left before Pei Ban takes care of Suzhou's double concert. Hurrying slowly, in the early morning before the concert, Gu Huiyan finally produced Secret Code and released it to major music platforms. Although, because this song was produced in a hurry, it was not widely publicized on various platforms, so almost no one paid attention when it was released. But who made the name Gu Huiyan become the golden brand in the music world today? Damn it, you kid is secretly releasing a new song. Just a few minutes after the release of Code, the comment area below started to flood. Good guy, I'm just a good guy. You know how to surprise fans. I cried to death. My family members don't understand. It's like a novel that has been updated suddenly has an update. It's such a surprise, isn't it? I am directly an alliance leader. I am the Silver Alliance. I'm golden. Old Lou, give me an address and send you some souvenirs. Probably, it's because the fan base is so huge. As soon as Gu Huiyan's new song was released, people immediately helped to promote it. They sent it to fan clubs on various platforms, forwarded it to various fan groups, and posted it in various circles of friends. Soon, Code exploded. A song that was released in the early morning has already exceeded 10 million views in 1 hour. This data is quite scary. To be honest, Gu Huiyan's works have not been charged for so far. As long as there is a fee, the income earned within 24 hours after the new song is released is enough to make him rich and free. Do you believe it? Crotch ran, the reason for the good data is also because the song is really nice and of high quality. It is a rare and lively song after the breakup. It continues Gu Huiyan's characteristic of being the arranger devil and makes people dream of him for a while. When his solo debut album was first released, Sunny Day brought astonishment. Some fans couldn't help but express with some guilt. I actually feel that breaking up is a good thing for us. Ahaha. This statement caused a group of people to burst into laughter. In fact, everyone felt this way, but they were too embarrassed to express it. You say those musical talents, you can't let them live a good life. If life is too good, it will be easy to be content, easy to be lazy, and not very good at writing songs. He needs to be severely hurt, and there should be a scumbag who will slander them, so that they can continue to create more and better works for everyone to listen to. Just say Gu Huiyan. Indeed, maybe he continued to output works to everyone before the breakup, but I feel that those works are still weaker than those after the breakup. Just take a look at these songs he released after the breakup. If you don't talk about Stranded and Are You Still Afraid of Heavy Rain, just talk about Tenderness and the current song Code. These two songs are really the shark is crazy, okay. Especially Tenderness, this song has been played in the streets and alleys recently, it's so popular. It is worth mentioning that when people listen to songs nowadays, they really only listen to the melody, which sounds good, but do not delve into the lyrics carefully. Do you think Code is a hit? Indeed. Early the next morning, without spending a penny, Gu Huiyan and his Code were on the hot search lists on various platforms, and they were at least in the top 5. If many people want to spend money to get into that position, it would cost at least millions, right? But many people only care that the song is beautiful, the song is of high quality, and they like it very much, but they do not realize that the content of Code is actually written by Gu Huiyan and Shang Zuoyan. Many people only remember the few lines of the chorus, I'm afraid you'll be heartbroken and no one will wipe your tears. And you stopped receiving signals, and I started to lose my search. Just hearing this, I thought it was written to Pei Jingshu. Indeed. Recently, it seems that all the songs written by Gu Huiyan are related to Pei Jingshu. It seems that everyone subconsciously thinks that all songs related to emotions are written about Pei Jingshu. Quite ironic. But this was just right, and it saved Gu Huiyan an explanation. Gu Huiyan didn't forward the song to Shang Zuoyan, not because he didn't want to send it, but they made an appointment that night. After they separated, they deleted each other's contact information and never contacted each other again. Gu Huiyan didn't know if she could hear this song, but he wanted to. It should be possible, right? Well, definitely. In short, for Gu Huiyan, although it was not perfect, in any case, after Code, he and Shang Zuoyan should come to an end. Now that she's gone, it's time for Gu Huiyan to get everything back on track. She always makes people love and hate her. Gu Huiyan can never deny that he likes her very much and hates her, but in the end, they have no choice but to bury their love for each other deep in their hearts. That's it, it's good to have regrets. Without regrets, there will be no next time. I hope that when they meet again after many years, they can look at each other and smile like old friends who have been separated for many years, and let everything go. Shanghai Stock Exchange Airport. The Oriental Pearl International Airport is really big. Shang Zuoyan, who was sent to the airport by her friends, was really worried. Fortunately, she arrived at the airport a few hours in advance, otherwise it was not sure whether she would be able to board the plane on time. In the past, these matters were handled by assistants, but she wanted to go abroad to work. It was impossible for her domestic assistants to follow her abroad, so before she decided to leave, she dismissed all her domestic assistant team. There was someone to pick her up when she landed, and the company over there also arranged an assistant for her, but there was someone to help her when she arrived, and she had to rely on herself when she went there. Thinking of this, Shang Zuoyan couldn't help complaining about her own assertiveness. Although Gu Huiyan had said "I'll send you off" before, she didn't contact Gu Huiyan at all before leaving. Although she knew that tomorrow was the beginning of his first solo concert, she knew very well that if she opened her mouth and asked him to come willfully, no matter how busy she was, this soft-hearted guy would definitely come. Well. Thinking of this, Shang Zuoyan sighed silently, feeling like the tree fell and the hosen dispersed. The most terrible thing is that she has not been feeling well these past few days, and it is always uncomfortable to walk. She blames that enemy. Call. After finally getting on the plane and putting her things down, she breathed a sigh of relief. Sitting by the window in the business class, Shang Zuoyan, wearing a hat, did not look at her phone, but turned her head to look outside. To be honest, I really don't want to leave. Fortunately, the place I'm going to is not too far away. It only takes an hour or two to fly back, so I won't have to travel halfway around the world to change planes. It's just a hassle to get a visa or something. It's just that she feels that she will rarely come back in the past few years. With nothing to do, she held her phone and flipped through it. She was not watching videos or watching real-time information. She had not wanted to watch something on the internet for a long time, otherwise she would not be able to relax. She was just scrolling through the photos taken that day when she and Gu Huiyan were boyfriends for a day. Even though she scrolled through them many times, she still couldn't see enough. Before our eyes, the plane was about to take off. "Ma'am, please turn off airplane mode on your phone." Announcement was broadcast, and the stewardess came over to remind. Shang Zuoyan nodded and turned off the airplane mode on her phone. And at this moment, she heard someone in the seat next to her saying, "Give me the headphones." "Hey, have you listened to Gu Huiyan's new song? I just posted it last night. Wow, it sounds so good, so powerful." Shang Zuoyan was stunned for a moment after hearing these words. A pair of big eyes under the brim of her pink hat blinked. As she watched the flight attendant walk over, she took out her phone again without hesitation, turned off airplane mode, and turned on the internet. Search Gu Huiyan's homepage on the music software. In fact, she doesn't need to take the initiative to search. On major music platforms, if you click on the search, the most popular songs will definitely have entries related to Gu Huiyan's code. Because the plane was about to take off, she had no choice but to download it first, then turn on airplane mode, and then put on headphones to listen. To be honest, Before listening to it, Shang Zuoyan was really afraid that this would be another sad song, similar to Shan Shan. She always didn't like that style of songs. Even though she was very miserable, it was just like what Gu Huiyan sang in Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs. Isn't it even worse to listen to bitter love songs even when you are so sad? Sad. Ding ding dong dong. Surprisingly, the style of this song code suited her taste very well. It was lively and rhythmic. She liked it very much just by listening to the intro. It gives people a feeling that it can make people move along with it. As the melody entered, Gu Huiyan's singing also entered Shang Zuoyan's ears from the headphones. What I want to do, you can do better than anyone else. I know everything you want to say and what you want to give. Missed call, no message, it must be that you are lonely and missing. No one can guess that this is our secret code. As the lyrics say, Gu Huiyan can never deny that Shang Zuoyan understands him very well. In many cases, Shang Zuoyan can guess what Gu Huiyan wants to say without him having to say it. Sister Xylin also knew him well, but Xylin's guess was more based on Gu Huiyan's character, while Shang Zuoyan knew subconsciously what he wanted to say and what he wanted to do. Really, very understanding. They guess, just guess, it's not important. Only when we connect each other's signals can we have something to rely on. There are too many people, too many things, roaring between us. There is too much noise, the signal is weak, even the wind will interfere, but you don't want to. Keep walking in the dark tunnel. I want to blow in the wind, I want to be free, I want to hold hands together. Go see the sea and wander around the world. The lyrics of the song code are very suitable for them. As public figures, they have been subject to various discussions from the beginning. There are really too many people, too many things, too many criticisms, and too many public opinions. Caught between them, they roared wildly, causing the signals between them to be swayed by the wind, never being able to be perfectly connected. But, no matter what, Shang Zuoyan is not willing to be a shady person. She has never been of such a character. She wants to always be like that day in Chongqing, holding Gu Huiyan's hand and playing around, taking pictures openly and openly. Post on WeChat moments, post on Weibo, and post various updates to show off. The metaphor of secret code is really beautiful. Gu Huiyan compared Shang Zuoyan's departure to the failure of signal connection, which always made Shang Zuoyan feel very clever. Relatively speaking, the chorus is more like what Gu Huiyan wants to say to Shang Zuoyan. I'm afraid of you, your heart is broken and there is no one to help you wipe away your tears. Don't worry about what's right or wrong, as long as we feel right. I'm afraid of you, your heart is broken and there is no one to help you wipe away your tears. Don't leave me. Only with you can my world be perfect. Perhaps for them, such lyrics are a bit too idealistic. Shang Zuoyan feels it is more like Gu Huiyan's fantasy. How can you ignore those rights and wrongs? How could you not leave? But the phrase I'm afraid your heart will be broken and no one will wipe your tears deeply touched Shang Zuoyan. She is far away in a foreign country, and she will inevitably have sad times in the future. When she is sad, she will be scolded. When someone hurts you. At those times, it seemed that no one was really qualified to wipe her tears except that bastard. She seems to be strong but at heart she still looks like a little girl who has not grown up. The lyrics use Gu Huiyan's perspective to sing that Shang Zuoyan understands him very well, but doesn't Gu Huiyan understand Shang Zuoyan very well? You said you wanted to escape from the uncomfortable feeling of letting go and making love too tiring, free. Because I can't afford the simplest promise. This song can really give goosebumps to people who hear it for the first time. You stopped, receiving the signal. I started searching but couldn't find it. Who knows? What time is it? You. Only. Will. Collect. Arrive. Secret. Number. I'm afraid your heart will be broken and no one will. Gu Huiyan is really good at singing. To be honest, for his singing skills, it is easy to sing a song perfectly and beautifully. But even so, when singing the climax of Code, he still sang it with an almost suffocating falsetto. The voice was really high, so high that even with his falsetto, he could hardly make any sound at the end of the song. Code became a hit this morning, and many people said it was another song that could be called a cover nightmare. To be honest, this section is not pleasant to listen to simply by listening to the sound, but after listening to the whole song, you will feel that the suffocation here is very appropriate and reasonable. When she heard those few lyrics, Shang Zuoyan really got goosebumps. She heard some of Gu Huiyan's depression, unwillingness, and helplessness in those few lines of the song, which reminded her of Gu Huiyan. What I said that day. She took all the responsibilities on her own. Doesn't it seem like Gu Huiyan is too inhumane? He will really be scolded to death. At this moment, Shang Zuoyan was really thinking, did she do something wrong? Even because she was very touched by what she heard, at a certain moment she was really thinking, should she go back? Pity. The plane didn't give her time to think. Rumble. The engine roared and was very noisy. The scenery outside the window gradually receded. The plane began to accelerate, began to climb, and began to slowly, toward the clouds. After all, we can't just skydive on the plane like eating chicken, and then go to Suzhou to just shoot with Pei Jingshu. Watching the scenery on the land slowly shrink, Shang Zuoyan pursed her lips slightly and took off her headphones. She didn't cry, but smiled softly, a little, satisfied. That's right. Thinking that she could leave so many indelible marks on Gu Huiyan, she felt proud. She thought that she would probably be a woman that Gu Huiyan would never forget in his life. At least at this moment, she felt that she had defeated Pei Jingshu. It's just the price, it's a bit tragic. Gone. Just leave. No more hesitation. No more coquettishness. I won't go back either. She's Shang Zuoyan, can't she shine wherever she goes? Do you really think she will be miserable? If the plane hadn't taken off and her phone hadn't turned on airplane mode, she would have definitely texted Gu Huiyan. I won't be heartbroken, let alone shed tears. I will be happy every day. You didn't choose me, so go ahead and regret it. Of course, she would not forget to tell Gu Huiyan that she liked Code very much. Not just because I liked the melody and the lyrics related to them, but also because the two girls at the back were chattering and discussing that the so-called protagonist of Gu Huiyan's new song was Shang Zuoyan, and she was sitting in front of them, secretly laughing. Goodbye, Gu Huiyan. I'm out of the show, and I will definitely not write about Charlene Shang in the short term. The next chapter will start with the concert session, that's it? Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 329. Suzhou. The stadium where Gu Huiyan's first solo concert was held. The concert only started at 8 o'clock in the evening. It was already past noon around the stadium, and there were already people everywhere starting at 1 or 2 o'clock. Many people had tickets and came very early. After all, it was a concert with more than 30,000 people. On the one hand, coming early to take photos and check-in was also because they were afraid of traffic jams. Crotch ran, there are more friends outside who don't have tickets. Many of them are not unwilling to spend money, but they can't get tickets for Gu Huiyan's concert at all, so they can only listen outside and support it. Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan's first solo concert has been really popular recently. Although there was no publicity, with the popularity of Tenderness and Code, this concert also received widespread attention. Concern. Similarly, how the relationship between Pei Bonzu will develop, whether the two of them will get back together, and whether the emotionally injured Gu Huiyan will have more works like Stranded come out, these are also the topics that everyone is excited about. Topic of discussion. Suzhou has been really busy recently, not only Gu Huiyan's side, but also Pei Jingshu's solo concert at the same time. There were also fewer people than here. Statistics show that during the preparations for the concert, this pair of the most popular Pei Bancare CP brought nearly 300–400 million yuan in tourism revenue to the local area, which is very exaggerated. You can come in. Time passed, and it was past 8 o'clock in the evening. In winter, it gets dark early, and the sun is no longer visible at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. After nightfall, the lights around the stadium were brightly lit. As the security entrances to the concert opened one after another, a large number of spectators began to pour in from various entrances excitedly. It is worth mentioning that when entering the security check, the staff prepared cheering sticks. This is not a fan culture, but mainly because the cheering sticks collectively light up when the singing is very exciting at the concert in the evening. If you have one, you will feel great. The cheering sticks distributed at the concert can be controlled by the field control. When the venue gets excited, the cheering sticks will light up and go off along with the melody, and it will feel like there is no one else. A piece of trivia here is that when buying support sticks, try to buy them from regular channels. If you can't find them, don't buy them. Go to the scene early to grab them, as they are distributed. I'm just afraid that if you get a pirated cheer stick, when the sea of lights at the scene flickers on and off along with the singer's performance on stage, the one in your hand won't listen to the field control and stays on. Immortal, enduring. It's so embarrassing. Many popular celebrities nowadays have their own supporting colors. Pei Jingshu is cyan, Shang Zuoyan is pink, and Gu Huiyan is more special, red. Crimson. This must be attributed to the song Reverse War. When Gu Huiyan sang Reverse War at Shang Zuoyan's concert, many people thought that because he was so domineering, he should have some suitable colors. Storm red is very interesting. Therefore, the support color was decided to be red. Speaking of which, this thing has always been managed by the company. Gu Huiyan only found out about it when he was preparing for the concert. The so-called rice circle culture is really extensive and profound. *U0026% UN #@ Inside the concert venue. Extremely noisy. Spectators entered the venue one after another, and the number of seats in both the distance stands and the infield slowly began to increase. This stadium is actually quite large, with a total capacity of 30,000 people inside and outside the stadium. Some people may say, well, the old kings and queens hold concerts with 100,000 people in the bird's nest. Who do you think this is? Little Karami. Just like the per capita monthly income on Douyin is over 10W, you may not be able to earn 3 or 5K a month, but the entry-level 30W BMW is called garbage. Bragging, who can't do that? Gu Huiyan, who was checking the equipment with the staff backstage at the moment, what Gu Huiyan wanted to say was, don't underestimate the 30,000-person stadium. During normal rehearsals, since there weren't many spectators at the scene, they were all staff, so Gu Huiyan couldn't really say he was nervous. At most, he thought the scene was huge. Can you look at it now? People began to enter the stadium one after another. As time went by, there were more and more spectators. Let's not talk about the dense crowd of people in the outfield stands. Just say that there are more people within sight of the infield. Scary. After all, there are thousands of people in this infield. Thousands of people. If you just look at the words, you will think that this is nothing. But in reality, what if you see so many people and so many pairs of eyes? Those with poor psychological quality and without many years of stage experience will be scared to death when so many people stare at them. Let me give you an example. 5,000 people are enough to form a division. Not to mention Gu Huiyan's concert, there were still tens of thousands of people. It is worth mentioning that their infield arrangement is actually very full, and the stage is designed to be very close to the audience, so just looking at these people in the infield, I think about being stared at by them when I come out later. Gu Huiyan is really a bit afraid of society. Having said this, Gu Huiyan couldn't help but feel a little regretful. He felt that many of his performances were arranged to a single order, and he should have had more backup dancers, so that everyone's attention would not be focused on him. Having said that, it was really the first time for Gu Huiyan to sing in front of so many people. I have been to a concert before to support, but there was a difference between more than 10,000 people that time and more than 30,000 people. But at the same time, Gu Huiyan felt quite happy when he thought that so many people were here just for him. So those tensions gradually relaxed a lot. Get ready. When the director and field controller were ready to notify, Gu Huiyan went to the stage to wait. Fortunately, in the first appearance, he was not alone. He brought a group of people. This time, he is no longer alone. It's almost time. Will it start soon? It's 8 o'clock in a few minutes. It said it started at 8 o'clock, so it's not a big problem. Ah! I'm so looking forward to it. Off the field. As the time for the concert began to get closer and closer, the audience began to look forward to it and became excited. Some audience members who came early had no time to guess what Gu Huiyan would choose for the opening song. Some people say it is Sunny Day. As the most representative work among Gu Huiyan's works, it is said that he received an invitation from the Golden Melody Award some time ago. He is probably going to win the award. So using this song as the opening song will definitely work. To the thermal field. After all, when the prelude of Sunny Day plays, everyone will get goosebumps, right? Speaking of hot spots, we have to mention Gu Huiyan's Reverse War. It is estimated that among his works, there are few that are more explosive than Reverse War. Today's Red Sea is all because of Reverse War. Crotch Burn, some people say it is possessed, and it has a similar feel to Reverse War. At the same time, some people will rap a DL. After all, this is Gu Huiyan's first song, and it is also the first work that made him famous and started on this road. Gu Huiyan has been criticized by the whole internet in the past 6 months, and the lyrics and artistic conception of the song Adiao are indeed suitable for Xian Gu, who is fighting a turnaround at this moment. There are also people rapping on the new song's tenderness and code, but their voices are relatively less vocal. There are even fewer people who say that he can sing the opening of Want to See You and Light Chaser. After all, those songs are very sweet, and they are songs between Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu. With their current relationship, Gu Huiyan is not very suitable. Use this kind of song to open the show. In short, everyone has guessed which song he used to open the show, there are so many. This journey along the way is probably due to his continuous output. Many people will only find out when they look back that he has produced so many popular classic works. Thinking of this, many people feel more and more that this concert will definitely be worth it. It is worth mentioning that everyone has thought about many works, but the impression seems to be that Gu Huiyan performs alone and sings his works alone. No way, this guy has always been alone. He rarely uses backup dancers on stage, and sometimes he doesn't even use accompaniment. This year's New Year's Eve was even more interesting. He sang 2 shark songs by himself, with a piano and a guitar. Stranded and Are You Still Afraid of Heavy Rain went viral all over the internet. He seemed to give everyone the impression that he was the one in the crystal courtyard, wearing a grey peaked cap, sitting on a high chair, holding a guitar, singing a Diao alone, willing to be ordinary but unwilling to be ordinary. The rotten one, that Gu Lalu. He. On stage, I am always alone. Just when everyone was speculating. It's also time, it's exactly 8 o'clock. Bang. On the originally dim stage, pure white spotlights suddenly lit up collectively. That light suddenly chilled the entire scene. Many people will feel dazzled at first, but at the same time, they can see the whole scene on the stage. At that moment, everyone's first reaction was, "Let's start." It's finally started. Subconsciously, they want to exclaim. However, before they could exclaim, Gu Huiyan's voice, along with the tens of millions of luxurious audio equipment at the scene, spread to everyone's ears with the surround sound of a concert. When you are the other side of the mountain crossing, I'm on a lonely road with no end. A very representative melody, a very recognizable lyrics, just like this, in an understatement, along with the lights and the stage, it spread to everyone's ears. Ah! That moment. The loud voices that everyone had been preparing for a long time were all released. It's Missing is a Disease. It's the song from Gu Huiyan's first solo album, and the only one with Pei Jingshu singing the chorus. He has never sung it live. Missing is a Disease. Yes. They should have thought of it earlier. Among Gu Huiyan's many works, there are many works that can be used as the opening, but only this song Missing is a Disease will give people a very appropriate and suitable feeling. You said Sunny Day and Reverse War were used as the opening act? That's a waste. That kind of song is usually used at the climax of the midfield, or during the final big swing. The opening does need to be hot, but if the place is too hot, the opening is too high, and the works sung later are not as good as the opening, it will give people the feeling of opening high and going low, and the gain is not worth the loss. Works such as a Diao seem too quiet and do not have such a strong sense of atmosphere, so they are not suitable for opening. Missing is a Disease is very suitable. It really has the ability to make everyone recognize the song and get excited as soon as it comes out and opens its mouth. In particular, it also has the buff blessing of the chorus sung by Pei Jingshu in the official version. Thinking of this, everyone couldn't help but admire Gu Huiyan. MD, a veteran, knows how to choose ha. Among his many works, most of them related to Pei Jingshu are sweet, and those that cannot be sung, the bitter ones are like Stranded the Species is not suitable for opening. And only this song Missing is a Disease is related to Pei Jingshu. It is not that painful, it has a sense of atmosphere, and it is very suitable for opening the song. It's really amazing, isn't it? Jujueze. How many things are there in a lifetime that are too late to discover? The most important thing has been lost. Suddenly I realized that I had gone far away. Why do I always believe that I am the one who was wrong after making a mistake? They say this is life. Try to understand, try to hold back the tears. I still can't escape the emotions I should have. With its relaxing melody and connotative lyrics, everyone later realized that Missing is a Disease was also written by Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu. Everyone can't help but wonder, is Gu Huiyan a time traveler? Did he know that they would be where they are today? Of course, these thoughts were all dispelled as Gu Huiyan and his stage partners walked out of the stage entrance shining with pure white light. Because, all their attention was attracted by Gu Huiyan. The two big screens on the stage were all focused on Gu Huiyan at that moment. Today, Gu Huiyan was wearing white clothes. It was pure white, like sportswear, but the style was very novel. There were reflective designs on the sleeves. With so many lights on the stage, it made his whole person seem to sparkle. Because it was a concert and he was facing so many audiences, today he was no longer slovenly and unkempt, but had a very good-looking look, with a three-dimensional hairstyle and distinctive facial features, and his white clothes made him look more attractive. The whole person is very white, and his face like that, just when it appears on the big screen, gives people a very resistant feeling. Today's Gu Huiyan once again gives people the feeling of too expensive to afford. He is always such a contrast, always able to seamlessly connect between the silly boy in the village and the king of superstars who are sought after by thousands of people. It is worth mentioning that when singing Missing is a Disease, the first song at the beginning of the concert, Gu Huiyan no longer sang alone like everyone's stereotype of him in the past. Today, he invited a group of backup singers. They were an a cappella vocal group that Gu Huiyan met when he was recording songs. When preparing for the concert, Gu Huiyan wanted to be as diverse as possible. At that time, he happened to want to adapt Missing is a Kind of Love. As for the song Sickness, I feel that if I sing it alone, my voice will be a little thinner. When it breaks out, many people need to sing together with very enthusiastic voices. So, he simply invited a group to come. It is worth mentioning that they all wore white clothes like Gu Huiyan. Gu Huiyan mixed in among them and sang with them. He didn't do anything special. His clothes were not different, and he didn't stand forward. He just talked to everyone. Watching and singing duet with everyone. I will not ask for time to stop turning. I know it's useless to be sad. It's just that during this period, especially at night, I still think of an unforgettable thing. I think my longing is a disease. It will take a long time to recover. When you are here, traveling through mountains and ridges. Ah! There were constant calls at the scene. The a cappella vocal group is very professional, good at singing, and their voices are very layered, but what the audience really has to say is that even among so many voices, Gu Huiyan's voice still stands out. Ah! He will always be the most recognizable sound gangster in the music industry, and he will always have the ability to make everyone scream and cheer as soon as he opens his mouth. It is worth mentioning that what he is holding is the blue microphone given by the fans. That microphone is not expensive, but he has been using it until now and has never replaced it. Ji Ying Ying. Forgetting the needs, love, and care of those around you. Excuses always widen the distance, unconsciously and silently. We always complain that things don't go as planned. But I don't want to look back and think about myself. What the hell did you do? Something stupid. When singing these lyrics, the camera and big screen showed Gu Huiyan's face, always with a bit of a wry smile. Perhaps it was only today that everyone belatedly discovered how suitable Missing is a Disease is for Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu. Even Gu Huiyan himself only discovered the lyrics when he was planning to sing the song during the concert preparations, and scolded him for being so accurate. Excuses always widen the distance. It's like he is always afraid of affecting the relationship between him and Pei Jingshu, so he hides it from Pei Jingshu and makes excuses not to tell her what happened between him and Shang Zuoyan. Unknowingly and silently, Pei Jingshu was hurt deeply. In the past 6 months, he did sometimes complain that things were not going as he wished. He always wanted to cover everything up, but in the end when the cover was broken, he was not even given a chance to take remedial measures. In the end, Shang Zuoyan left for a foreign country. Now he still doesn't know whether he and Pei Jingshu can go back to the past. Look back. How many stupid things have you done? How stupid? Why can't you be more honest? Gu Huiyan didn't like this song because it felt like scolding him. He finally understood Shang Zuoyan's feeling of not liking the name engraved in my heart, but fortunately some of the lyrics of this song would give him some comfort. Maybe God gave me a trial. It's just that this wound will take some time. I just miss everything in the past. Those people and things will go far away from me. And we will eventually stay away and become memories. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 330. The stage was very big, and Gu Huiyan started running around. He handed the microphone to the audience. There were very few of Gu Huiyan's songs that were not popular and well known, so almost everyone could sing them. At that moment, the whole audience sang loudly. When you're on the other side of the, crossing the mountains. I'm on a lonely road with no end. What's funny is that when Gu Huiyan walked to the audience, he handed the microphone to a girl. The girl was always excited, shouting and singing very loudly, just. It's out of tune. The running was exaggerated. I don't know if I was too excited, but anyway, I sang. It sounds so unpleasant. You go. Gu Huiyan immediately ran away with a disgusted look on his face. Although he had heard that handing a microphone could lead to trouble, he never thought that the first time he handed a microphone to an audience alone, he would encounter a disaster. Puff. Ha ha ha. The whole place burst into laughter. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, system points add 91x20. The system also came back online after a long absence, and Gu Huiyan was notified. Laughter, chorus, shouting, cheering. All kinds of voices blended together at this moment. Along with the red cheering sticks in their hands, they waved and rippled together. The atmosphere is so good at this moment. And just after the chorus. How long have you been standing here? How long has it been since I said I love you? Gu Huiyan repeated these lyrics while running around the stage. In the original version of Missing is a Disease, this lyric was not deliberately emphasized, it was just a very plain sentence, no different from other lyrics. There are even too many lyrics in this song, so you won't remember the lyrics very deliberately just by listening to it. But at this moment, because of Gu Huiyan's repetition, all the more than 30,000 spectators at the scene really got goosebumps because of this lyric. Listen to what he sings. How long has it been since I stood here, how long has it been since I said I love you? Everyone knows what Gu Huiyan has endured in the past 6 months. Everyone who came here today, even on the day of grabbing tickets, was still sneaky and quiet, fearing that the news that they were grabbing tickets would get out and Gu Huiyan would be in trouble. After the breakup incident, Gu Huiyan was so criticized. He was scolded all over, and various marketing accounts said that he lost his house in the past 6 months, he not only had no job, but also did not publish any new works. Even when I go to a friend's wedding, I have to wear a mask and a hat, covering myself tightly for fear of causing trouble to others. This year's New Year's Eve, he wore a mask and went to the backstage of Orange Channel by himself. He didn't bring an assistant, no makeup, no dress up, and he went on stage wearing his own drag jacket. There was no rehearsal, no backup dancers, no lighting coordination, just his own monotonous piano, guitar, and his voice. How could they not know how miserable he had been in the past 6 months? How long has it been since he stood here and sang openly like this? How long has it been since he sang the word love like this in all his works? This lyric fully reflects the many turmoils he has endured in the past 6 months. At this moment, many of his fans who had eye bags couldn't help crying, and goosebumps began to appear on their bodies as if they were worthless, and they couldn't get rid of them even if they wanted to. Dong dong. Today, Gu Huiyan is no longer alone. There is a concert team of several hundred people behind him. There is an a cappella vocal group on his stage. In this concert that can accommodate more than 30,000 people, in the stadium, he has lighting and stage equipment worth tens of millions. Same. He and these more than 30,000 fans and viewers came to support him. At that moment. That inspiring feeling. That feeling of excitement. Everything rushed into everyone's mind. Audiences who are familiar with so many of Gu Huiyan's works really didn't expect that Gu Huiyan's song Missing is a Disease could be adapted to be even more inspiring than a song like Stubborn. Probably because it has been repeated so many times, people started shouting the lyrics, how long have I not stood here, how long have I not said I love you. The dynamic melody, the long time no see Gu Lalu on the stage, and these lyrics are all deeply affecting everyone's hearts at this moment. More and more people started singing along. They didn't know how many times Gu Huiyan would repeat it, but they really wouldn't get bored and wanted to sing along with Gu Huiyan, forever. Fortunately, Gu Huiyan really wouldn't be in trouble for such a long time. How long have you been standing here? How long has it been since I said I love you? His stage choreography was really spot on. You could see him walking around on both sides of the stage and singing this line about 8 times, rising from low to high, leaving everyone with a climax. Before, the most intense foreshadowing. At the end, he's back on center stage with his orchestra, and together they are, palms up. At that moment, all the spotlights shined again. They sang that line very loudly, almost in a shouting manner. While you're here. The other side of the mountain crossing. I'm on a lonely road with no end. Always feel your breath behind my ear. But I have never felt your breath in my heart. Missing is a disease. Missing is a disease. A disease. Some were harmonizing, some were shouting. Gu Huiyan's voice was the main voice, and the others' voices were auxiliary. The shocking voice and the brightest lights on the stage were so deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Of course, it is also very popular. Ah! Everyone, at that moment, couldn't help but get goosebumps. It is said that Gu Huiyan is the devil of arrangers, and this is really vividly demonstrated in his own works today. Even people who don't know Gu Huiyan's story, people who don't know him, and people who were just dragged to watch the concert by their friends today were really shocked by the most touching vocals in live performances. In these lyrics, Gu Huiyan sang the feeling of finally turning over after many twists and turns and feeling proud and proud. In the past 6 months, so many people have scolded him, so many people have belittled him as useless, as if he shouldn't be in this world. But look at now. Do you see this scene? Look at the stadium for the solo first concert with more than 30,000 people, and the seats are all packed. They helped Gu Huiyan prove everything. And precisely because they have the same feeling, everyone can resonate so much when listening to the explosive chorus of the adapted version of Missing is a Disease. Ah! Many people's voices were hoarse as soon as they came up. This is just the beginning, and they don't know what will happen next. I just want to give all my support to Gu Huiyan at this moment. His opening today was so sincere, wasn't he? He is truly a well-deserved king of the Chinese music scene. My brother. That's my brother. Off stage. Infield. In the best seats, Gu Huiyan's younger brother Guzun shouted loudest. This kid was even more awesome than Gu Huiyan. Seeing that the whole audience was excited, he also shouted. Shout to the people around you. As if he was afraid that others wouldn't know that Gu Huiyan was his brother. This kid likes to show off. When Gu Huiyan first became famous, he bragged a lot to the people around him, so he must have attracted some jealousy. Later, after Gu Huiyan was deeply involved in the breakup storm, those jealous people naturally added insult to injury. The boy's life has not been easy in the past 6 months, and he was a little bit involved by Gu Huiyan. And at this moment, when Gu Huiyan sang the song Missing is a Disease like a shout, not only he and his fans were proud, but Guzun was also proud together. He took a lot of photos with his mobile phone, and he would definitely show it off to the people who had made trouble before. Look. Now. My brother. My brother. He would pull on the people around him and shout wildly. Blow it and you just. He's still my brother, what did I say? I even said he was my husband. The people next to him didn't believe what Guzun said at all, and even said that he was bragging, which made Guzun very angry. It is worth mentioning that Guzun came with a little female classmate. Originally, Gu Huiyan gave him 2 tickets to ask him to come with his mother, but it was approaching the new year, and there were all kinds of favors at home and in the store. She was also very busy, and Gu's mother really couldn't spare any time, so she took advantage of Guzun's little female classmate. What's funny is that Guzun pulled him here, but when he came to the scene, the little girl shouted. Ah! Gu Huiyan, I love you. Ah, I love you so much. Guzun's face darkened. In fact, this kind of scene doesn't just appear here. Maybe it's because the stage is so contagious, so many people shout exaggerated words. especially some girls. At this time, the boyfriend's emotional intelligence will show up. Those with low emotional intelligence will definitely be unhappy, but those with high emotional intelligence, they will shout louder than the girls. Oh, you like Gu Huiyan, do you think I don't like it anymore? Gu Huiyan is a male fan, no matter what. No male college student can refuse Gu Huiyan, he is their youth, okay. So some funny scenes appeared on the scene, that is, some couples came together. The girl shouted Gu Huiyan, I love you, and the boy shouted I love you to death, shouting even louder. It's so harmonious. You say this. That's really my brother. This kid Guzun is quite serious. He keeps saying that Gu Huiyan is really his brother. Everyone around him is paying attention to the stage. Who has the time to be serious with him? Many ignored him. And at this moment, a woman wearing a hat and looking very elegant who was sitting in front of Guzun suddenly turned around and glanced at him. Then he held the light stick and waved to him. At that time, Guzun was stunned for a moment and didn't recognize who the person in front of him was. It wasn't until Xylin quietly took off her mask, revealing her exotic and delicate face, and smiled at him, that he realized that this was the famous movie Queen Siren. They had met before. When Gu Huiyan was hospitalized in a car accident, Xylin took care of him in the hospital. Guzun and Gu Ma had met Xylin before. I still need to take a group photo. There was always a sense of intellectual elegance about her sister, and just a smile made Guzun calm down. It is worth mentioning that she seemed to have noticed Xylin smiling at Guzun and saying hello, so the few people around her who didn't believe that Guzun was really Gu Huiyan's brother also became interested. Several girls dressed very coquettishly came over to get close to Guzun, asking for their contact information. Guzun knew a few of them, and they seemed to be some celebrities. This is normal. To be honest, many of the seats they are sitting in cannot be bought with money. They are almost all relationship tickets. It is normal to arrange them together. A junior high school student has never experienced this. Just saying a few words will make Tiao's face turn red. Sometimes, Guzun would also envy his own brother. How could he be so prosperous? There are famous female stars everywhere. When you are on the other side of the mountain. I'm on a lonely road with no end. As the last lyrics fell, and as the strong shock swept across the audience, the scene once again erupted into a wave of shouts and applause like a mountain roar and a tsunami. The fluorescent sticks kept waving. Many people are shouting. My brother. This is my brother. AHH. Gululu really has you. You know how to sing. You can shout anything. Haha. To be honest, Gu Huiyan was quite happy at that time. When the camera on the big screen showed him, he was holding a blue microphone with a smile on his face. Everyone, I really don't know how long it has been since I saw Gu Huiyan look so happy. After the breakup incident, he seemed to have disappeared. The only way for anyone to know about him was through information occasionally exposed on the internet. He said he couldn't be the best man when attending a friend's wedding and didn't even dare to show up, so he had to wear a mask and a hat. He said he had to wear a mask when attending Orange Channel's New Year's Eve party, and even didn't dare let his name appear on the program list. How miserable. Obviously he used to be so happy, so joyful, so carefree. Now, just seeing him look so happy, just seeing him still standing on that stage, many people are already satisfied, right? Gu Huiyan knew that he should say something at this time, but he was a little short of words when the words came to his lips. Come on Gu Huiyan. Then the girl who just happened to be handed the microphone by him used a shout that was almost broken, like a roar, and directly broke his guard. Pht, you're not a beauty. You're such a girl, why do you have a mouth? As soon as these words came out. Puff. Ah ha ha ha. The whole audience burst into laughter. Gu Huiyan added. The old lady who just took over the singing job sounds like her. Are all beauties tone deaf? What he said was an impromptu expression. It was called hanging up in the way of crosstalk, just to liven up the atmosphere. Ha ha ha. You see, the atmosphere at the scene is good. Originally, the atmosphere in the audience was very good because of missing is a disease. Everyone is very supportive at the moment, and they will support you no matter what you say. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan, the old lady, is very emotional. He did say that her singing was ugly, but he also said that she was a beauty. That is. One thing that Gu Huiyan never expected was. After the beautiful woman in the front row laughed, she actually shouted. Pei Jingshu is not tone deaf. As soon as these words came out. Puff. Oh. Ah ha ha ha. The scene started to boo like crazy, okay. All kinds of booing could be heard all the time, all kinds of people, all kinds of shouting. Gu Huiyan. It's your turn now. Ah ha ha ha. The way of heaven is so easy to reincarnate, who will God spare? If you come out to fool around, you will have to pay back sooner or later. This is just the infield. People in the outfield didn't hear it and don't know what happened. It will take time for it to be passed on. When they all know it and there are 20,000 to 30,000 people in the audience booing, then Gu Huiyan really can't get off the stage. One thing to say, these words are really exciting. Who would have thought that Gu Huiyan's first solo concert would be so exciting from the beginning? You. Gu Huiyan on the stage was so angry that he couldn't control the roar of the whole hall. At this moment, Gu Huiyan was scolding herself in her heart. Why did she have to show off her high emotional intelligence and say are all beauties tone deaf, not saying that, she didn't say Pei Jingshu is not like that tone deaf. This one is really self-inflicted. The key problem is that Gu Huiyan has no way to refute. You talk about beauties, looking at the entire domestic entertainment industry, is there anything more beautiful than Pei Jingshu's face? You say that all beauties are tone deaf. That person, Pei Jingshu, is the king of singers on Orange Channel's Singer of the Times. Now she is having her solo concert at a stadium less than 2 hours away from you. Aren't you slapping yourself in the face? The most important thing is that Pei Jingshu is very special here with Gu Huiyan. There is a saying that this woman is really brave. Everyone knows that Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu have not reconciled yet, and everyone knows what their current relationship is. Generally, after a breakup in the entertainment industry, it is somewhat taboo to mention each other in public. So this girl is also a. Close your face and open it up. Gu Huiyan really doesn't want this big guy? No, are you my fan? What's funny is that old man Gu Huiyan was still very dissatisfied and even asked. You are a fake fan. Are they saying that their eye-catching bags are so embarrassing? Ha ha ha. There was constant laughter at the scene, but what Gu Huiyan and all the audience never expected was that the girl didn't even flinch and shouted. I'm Pei Jingshu's fan. As soon as the statement came out. Oh. At the scene, I just couldn't control it. This is the only fan of Pei Jingshu's family who is here to cause trouble. Gu Laoliu, what are you going to do? Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 331. Haha. In the past, whether he was facing the audience on the stage or facing his friends off the stage, Gu Huiyan always subconsciously avoided any topic about Pei Jingshu. Especially when in front of Pei Jingshu, it seems that she is always unable to speak clearly because of some guilt. You said, always express it through lyrics? Ah, that's fine too. But you can't really put words in a song all the time. Sometimes, it may be that you think it is romantic, but others may not get it. And sometimes, she does need some favor. On the stage, Gu Huiyan crossed his arms, held the microphone, and spoke to everyone relaxedly. Actually, today, because it is our concert, I always mention her words, and it is easy for people to say that she is just trying to gain popularity, so during the preparations, I did not plan to sing related songs. Because it's my own private matter, I'm afraid it will affect everyone's experience. I seem to always want to be worthy of everyone. But sometimes, it seems that you should be more partial, just like what you said during the New Year's Eve a few days ago. Mentioning this, Gu Huiyan couldn't help but smile a little bitterly, then made an exaggerated expression and said two words. Chase. Then. Puff. Ha ha ha. The whole audience laughed. Gu Huiyan is very similar. Some time ago, during the New Year's Eve, he was shouted at by the audience asking him to chase Pei Jingshu. Later, a video was circulated. It was a girl. She shouted till she was hoarse and her voice was loud. The expression kept exploding. The video later went viral and became a true portrayal of that time. It was her that Gu Huiyan looked like now. Because it was a joke, the live show was so effective. Someone commented, Gu Huiyan, this kid is constantly surfing the internet. I wrote a song called Tenderness after seeing comments saying that he couldn't sing with a smile anymore. This guy's internet speed is really fast all the time. Thinking of tenderness, some people speculated whether he meant to sing tenderness when he said this. Of course, more people were still touched by his words. Gu Huiyan, this kid, I don't know if he is autistic because he was criticized for having low emotional intelligence and lack of quality in the past. Later, he always used to be a master of duan shui and wanted to be worthy of everyone, especially those who support him. His fans. For this reason, at this year's New Year's Eve party, when Pei Jingshu left, he wanted to chase her, but he still did not chase her because of the sake of carrying water and the audience. If no one called him to go, he might just watch. Pei Jingshu left. This guy is always so inactive, straight men are so damned. Fortunately, he is slowly beginning to change. So in this performance, we will not avoid her, nor mention her, nor will we not sing any songs related to her. Gu Huiyan said so. As soon as these words came out, many people at the scene began to boo. One thing that many people know is that many of Gu Huiyan's early and very good works are related to Pei Jingshu. Such as Want to See You, Light Chaser, Like You, Together No Matter How Far Away, Heart Wall, and so on. Before coming here, because they had not gotten back together, many people thought that Gu Huiyan might not be able to sing these songs, and even avoided them. At that time, they felt it was a pity, because apart from the current relationship between the two of them, they only talked about their works, those they are all works that are very suitable for the scene, very good, and very romantic. It would be a pity not to sing. But what they didn't expect was that Gu Huiyan didn't shy away from this, which surprised them. By the way, they should have figured this out just now. Isn't the song Missing is a Disease also related to Pei Jingshu? Gu Huiyan, haven't you finished singing? This old six always knows what they like. The next song is about her, but it's just a new song. The members of the orchestra had left at some point, and a piano slowly rose up on the lifting platform in the center of the stage. The shape of the piano looks a bit exaggerated, but for concerts, everyone knows it. Gu Huiyan's clothing style is not exaggerated, so if the piano is exaggerated, just be more exaggerated. Oh! Come on! Various calls from the scene continued. In fact, the biggest charm of the concert is the live atmosphere, especially the chorus, which will make people very excited. Although Gu Huiyan's new songs should not have a chorus part, but his new songs are all understood by everyone, they are always so it's exciting. Isn't it often said on the internet recently that musical talents who have broken up have produced more and more outstanding works? This trend is best reflected in Gu Huiyan. Everyone is really curious about what this new song that just came out will be like. And just when Gu Huiyan sat on the seat in front of the piano, a song title appeared on the big screen behind him. If it is possible. This song title inexplicably gives people a sense of reverie, making you can't help but guess what will be said after the four words if you can. Gu Huiyan just said that this song is related to Pei Jingshu, so what is the so-called if possible in her story? Is it the same guilt as in Stranded, or the same memories as in Tenderness? At this moment, many people are thinking about it. Dong, dong 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 dong. And just when everyone was guessing, a crisp piano sound accurately spread to everyone's ears through the professional audio equipment on site. Oh! Suddenly, some people showed surprised expressions. Let's just say that sometimes, this prelude really only needs one instrument, using the simplest chords and the smoothest way to highlight it. For example, in Sunny Day, Gu Huiyan can impress everyone with just a few notes played on his guitar. Also, like this song If I Can, the sound of the piano is really crisp, and you can really always believe in Gu Huiyan's intro. You, quietly in my ear. Imprint a sentence and never forget it. Taste and collect. What is surprising is that the feeling of the song If I Can is not as emo as Stranded. Please. This New Year's Eve, when many people listened to Stranded, they were really heartbroken. It's so uncomfortable. Modern people have a lot of pressure in life, and they want to relax a little bit when they listen to music or read a book for entertainment. Listening to this kind of emo music will really make people feel more and more uncomfortable. To be honest, if the song wasn't of really high quality and it fit their story of Pei Ban Takes Care of You, the audience would really not be able to listen to this song. Just now, what many people were embarrassed to say was that they were really afraid that Gu Huiyan would sing songs related to Pei Jingshu again, such as Stranded and Are You Still Afraid of Heavy Rain? Especially after he just finished singing the adapted version of Missing is a Disease that exploded the audience. The place is so hot, if you play an emo song like Stranded, it will really hurt, okay. Fortunately, Gu Huiyan took this into consideration perfectly. Although the connotation of this song includes lyrics, it is still on the emotional route, but it is obviously not a very emo bitter love song. The melody is eye-catching, and his singing voice is so pure, it will be quite amazing. You, in your dream, gently. Such tenderness, leaving hesitation. Inextricable. This song is very simple, the lyrics are simple, and Gu Huiyan's singing is also simple. When singing this song, you can't hear him using any falsetto, or even any fancy techniques. Gu Huiyan has really looked very advanced recently. With his singing skills, he can show off his skills like crazy. In the past, whether he was singing Counter War or Under the Flying Clouds or other works, he loved showing off his skills. But lately, he really rarely shows off his skills. He always uses the most direct voice to touch everyone's hearts. Dong dong. He plays and sings by himself, which is really admirable. He sang. If I could get to you. Places to go. Is it all wishes? It can be as small as. Cannot see. If I could see you, I've seen the seasons. Are they all dreams? Everything can change according to the solar terms. Oh. Many people had goosebumps at this moment, and some couldn't help but exclaimed. Some even said. It's been a long time, and this guy is waiting here. This song If I Can, compared to the Missing is a Disease just now, is actually not that explosive, and it really won't make so many viewers shout hoarse like before. It is very suitable for listening quietly. Gu Huiyan will use the most direct voice to poke into everyone's heart. But it is undeniable that this song is also very detailed and careful, and it can move people's hearts in silence. After the breakup, all the US in Gu Huiyan's work seemed to be related to Pei Jingshu in the eyes of the audience. In this song If I Can, every you he sang was outstanding and special. In the past, the themes of his works have always been very prominent, but when they first heard the title and verse of this song If I Can, many people didn't know what he wanted to express and were still guessing. It really doesn't have as clear a theme as Stranded, Are You Still Afraid of Heavy Rain and other works. But not until the chorus. After hearing those few lyrics, they suddenly understood what the old man wanted to express. It turns out that the lyrics after If You Can are If You Can Go Where You Go. Ah! So romantic. Some girls at the scene may be infected, which may be a bit of a breach of defense. Everyone knows that Pei Jingshu is holding a concert in Suzhou today on the same day and at the same time. Also because they were both holding their own solo concerts, they couldn't go to each other's concert on this day. There were rumors on the internet some time ago that Gu Huiyan gave Pei Jingshu concert tickets and planned to get back together at the concert. Unfortunately, she had no chance to come because she was also busy with her own concert. It's like good fortune is playing tricks on people, or it's like God is not working well. Just because they know these illusions very well, everyone feels that Gu Huiyan's song and these lyrics are so poignant. The theme of the song If I Can, which was originally elusive and foggy, suddenly became clear when these few choruses came out. When the song title first came out, some people speculated what was behind If I Can. They guessed a lot, but the only thing they didn't guess was Go Where You Go. Although the melody is very catchy and not very emo, for some reason, many people feel sorry for Gu Huiyan. This kid can't even invite Pei Jingshu to the concert. Come on. Come on Gu Huiyan. Many people at the scene were quite enthusiastic. When singing this song, they kept cheering for Gu Huiyan and felt a little embarrassed to shout for Gu Huiyan. Have I affected everyone's mentality recently? When he finished singing, Gu Huiyan sat in front of the piano and asked with a smile. As soon as these words came out. Puff. Ha ha ha. Many people laughed at the scene, and someone in the field shouted. You still know. You kid still has some competition in your heart. You old man is really convinced. I'm tortured to death by you every day. There were people shouting and everything, but when I heard the one who tortured her to death. Young lady, please pay attention to your words. What do you mean by being tortured to death by me every day? You can easily be misunderstood. Gu Huiyan couldn't help complaining and said something as a clarification. Ah ha ha ha. The laughter at the scene was even better, and it was funny to say that Gu Huiyan was probably in good condition today, so the interspersed stages always brought everyone some laughter. Thinking of this, everyone must be somewhat nostalgic. Gu Huiyan from the beginning was always the one who brought laughter to everyone. That is. This guy is a bit wicked. You said he sang so soulfully that everyone got into the fun, and after singing everyone was very confused and panicked, but he ended up playing tricks on him to make the show on the stage look better? This nickname of Gu Lulu is a well-deserved reputation for a really special girl. Bring it on. Gu Huiyan laughed and stopped showing off, and said with a smile. Our next song won't affect everyone's mentality, because the next song is called Sad People. He stopped mid-sentence, then took off his blue microphone from the microphone stand in front of the piano and pointed it at the audience like a conductor's baton. He is very confident and the audience is very supportive. The whole audience shouted. Don't. Listen. Slow. Sing. Just the next moment. Dong 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 dong. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. The wild drum beats and restless sounds of electric guitar swept the entire stadium at this moment. The spotlight on the stage began to rotate back and forth, and various colors spread across the entire stage. On the big screen were Gu Huiyan's face, the handsome band teacher playing drums and guitar, and all the audience members waving light sticks. It is worth mentioning that at this moment, Baofeng's crimson fluorescent stick exerted its maximum effect. The field control teacher directly controlled the fluorescent stick to light up and turn off according to the melody. The speed was fast, and the audience waved it faster. Ah! Many people at the scene were immediately ignited. This song Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs is Gu Huiyan's new song at the beginning of this year. It is also the liveliest and most restless song among all his works. It is no less igniting than Reverse War. First work. This is also a song that will never be emo no matter what. Just listen to this prelude. Once this happens, the whole audience will get excited, okay. It's just that occasionally someone can't help but complain and say, this old man's mood is like a roller coaster because of the labor and management, going up and down. I just listened to such a quiet and heart-wrenching song if you can, and I still haven't recovered from it. Then I turned around and played Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs. I went straight from the ICU to the KTV. Yes. This is so damn fatal, isn't it? People with a bad heart can really suffer from heart disease. You're too tired from crying. Gu Huiyan stood up. Then the old man handed over the microphone very confidently. Then there was a chorus of disco dancing in the audience. You're hurt too deeply. You love so stupidly. You're crying like the end is coming. Oh, oh. Hey, it's very interesting. Obviously the song has a lot of lyrics, but it's not very repetitive. Many people don't even remember the lyrics of this song on purpose. But when singing this song, when Gu Huiyan handed the microphone, everyone could still sing along directly, and it felt like the lyrics came out of their heads spontaneously, okay. Generally, this phenomenon will only appear in square dances, divine songs, and saliva songs. Strictly speaking, Gu Huiyan was not very confident when handing over the microphone, nor did he dare to let everyone sing the whole song. After all, Suzhou knew everything. Some time ago, a famous conductor, who was always the one to start singing for people wherever he went, came here to hold a concert, and when he handed over the microphone, the audience didn't even open their mouths. Directly to Waterloo. In other places, after a concert, the microphone volume is left at 90%, but here, my goodness, 10% is left, which is pretty good. Because of this, many singers were a little hesitant to hold concerts here. Gu Huiyan only found out about this situation later. He should have known earlier that he could not choose this place for his first concert. We don't know the specific reason. In short, because of the senior's experience, Gu Huiyan really didn't dare to hand over the microphone too much during the concert in Suzhou. But just be afraid of an accident. So you listen to slow songs. When Gu Huiyan was speaking the next sentence, the microphone suddenly went silent for some unknown reason. Gu Huiyan was stunned at that time. Let's just say that there was no sound from the microphone in Suzhou. If the audience didn't sing along, it would really be a cold show. But what Gu Huiyan didn't expect was the audience, who were rumored not to be supportive, actually sang very loudly. A very slow song. It hurts my heart to hear it. Should we change our rhythm? Oh, oh. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 332. Hey hey. On the stage. Gu Huiyan, who had restored the wireless connection of the microphone, did not sing, but instead set the rhythm for everyone. And what about the audience? Stop asking who is right and who is wrong, who is right and who is wrong, and who owes whom. Anyway, I was wrong, I lost anyway, I am happy with myself. I don't care who you are, who is yours, I am mine. Let the music move, 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 feel alive. I will be happy whether I am standing, sitting, lying down or lying down. Let the music move, 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 move almost deafen you. Don't care, don't think about it, don't wait, don't be unhappy. Don't listen to slow songs when you're sad. The audience is singing a chorus. The scene at the scene was so spectacular. 20 to 30,000 people were waving red fluorescent sticks word for word, and everyone sang Gu Huiyan's Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs together. And the old guy on the stage really played the role of a conductor, just holding up his blue microphone and swinging around. Do you think he is professional? What a joke. He is not professional at all and has no education. But when singing, everyone really just sang along with his hands. Today, Gu Huiyan really experienced the joy of the famous conductor who just started singing on the stage and everyone sang along. Then you don't even have to open your mouth for your own concert now. This caused Gu Huiyan to say to the audience after Cheng Xiao finished singing. No, what's the deal with Suzhou being very curly? What if the audience here won't sing along? The words fell. Ha ha ha. There was a burst of laughter. It is said on the internet that Suzhou is very good, and many king singers have to sing here. It is really not very realistic to have everyone sing for you and set up a large KTV for you. But today, Suzhou's volume has not come true for Gu Huiyan. There is no way, who makes every one of his works so popular. In fact, cantata is really the best way to test the singing ability of a singer's works. Take Gu Huiyan's works as an example, there is almost no one that will not cause a live chorus. Many live audiences are indeed concerned, and they are indeed not very fond of some singers, and they are never used to those so-called conductors. But when you come to Gu Huiyan, as soon as the melody of his works sounds, you feel that your DNA is moving. It's hard not to sing along, okay. If you want to do this, I will really start to give orders. Seeing the audience getting used to it, Gu Huiyan also became interested, rolled up his sleeves and waved his hand. Come on, Ni. Fight. The words fell. Oh ho. Ah. There were constant shouts at the scene, and all kinds of ghosts and wolf howls began to follow. Let's just say that after the high-burning Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs, it was immediately followed by Gu Huiyan's masterpiece, the high-burning Reverse War. This is too explosive, isn't it? That is to say, this is only the fourth song, and a concert will have more than 10 or 20 songs, and now it's like this, how will it end later? Do. Amid everyone's expectations, the familiar prelude of Reverse War sounded domineeringly. I don't know if he learned it at Chang Huiyan's concert the year before last. Since then, Gu Huiyan has to shout before singing Reverse War every time. It sounds like the stop in concave and convex man's elo, and it also sounds like English. Say, in short, it is very atmospheric. As soon as he shouted, along with the prelude, the feeling came immediately, okay. On this battlefield where the wind blows and the clouds surge. I don't know if it was because of the confidence he gained from the previous song, but now Gu Huiyan throws the microphone casually, especially when it comes to the climax chorus of Reverse War. This old man waved his hand. Boys. Let the boys sing first. Then the most spectacular scene was that the 20,000 to 30,000 spectators really listened to his words. Girls originally had the loudest voices in the stadium, but when Gu Huiyan called out to the boys, surprisingly, not a single girl's voice came out. All the boys in the audience were singing. Come to fight back and fight back. When the boy finished singing, Gu Huiyan waved his hand. It's our girls' turn, let's see how our girls' voices compare with the boys' voices. Then the even more spectacular scene came. As I have said many times, women in our country generally have a competitive factor in their bones. They had suppressed it for a long time when Gu Huiyan only asked boys to sing. Now it is their turn. What a wonderful voice. It simply crushes the boys by many levels. Oh. Gu Huiyan on the stage showed a horrified expression. Do you want to say that you are so cruel? After counter-war ended, Gu Huiyan followed up with Summer, then Listen to Mom, and then Stubborn. It is worth mentioning that when singing Listen to Mom and Summer, there were quite a few backup dancers on the stage. Especially when singing Summer, the backup dancers were all girls, wearing colorful skirts, showing off her hot figure, flowing back and forth around Gu Huiyan. Zhao. Many viewers can't stand it anymore. Who do you want to envy to death? Having said that, there were no intimate moves planned on the stage, so no one said anything, they were just a little envious. What's funny is that there was a backup dancer who was very close to Gu Huiyan, and Gu Huiyan didn't know if he got the best of the song at the time. He sang so loudly that he started running around on the stage. The backup dancers all have their own movements, and they are all designed. If he runs around like this, it is easy to disrupt their pace. I just happened to bump into a backup dancer wearing red clothes. Ahaha. Many viewers laughed like crazy. Some people said, as expected of you, Gu Huiyan, you are an eyesore. After a long time, it was quite heartwarming to see Gu Huiyan in such an embarrassing state. When singing Listen to Mom, it was actually quite normal. There were all kinds of choruses, and the atmosphere in the whole place was very good. What Gu Huiyan didn't expect was that when the girl rapped, everyone actually sang along. You guys can even rap. Gu Huiyan was shocked. No, is this audience so good? Gu Huiyan fired a rainbow fart with his backhand. Whoever says in the future that Suzhou's audience won't support him, I will fall out with him. Haha. The audience was very impressed by this, and the live program was very effective. It is worth mentioning that when singing Stubborn, Gu Huiyan's microphone had a problem again. He just sang the word dang and the microphone went silent. Then the surprising scene appeared again, that is, the whole audience sang chorus again, singing the entire song Stubborn. No way. The song Stubborn, to a certain extent, is even higher than Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs in terms of coherence and recognition. How could this audience restrain themselves from singing? The only one who can cure them is Gu Huiyan, the conductor, when he sang Reverse War. Sorry friends, I have to change the microphone. After singing Stubborn, a staff member finally went on stage to change the microphone for Gu Huiyan. At that time, Gu Huiyan was still very embarrassed and apologized to the audience. Ah! He really, I cried to death. Some fans at the scene were actually quite moved when they saw that scene. Why? Because, even though the quality of the microphone in his hand may no longer match the luxurious equipment at the concert, he still keeps using it. In fact, after singing 5 or 6 songs now, many people have noticed that Gu Huiyan's microphone has not been faulty for the first time. Logically speaking, in such a luxurious concert venue, with equipment worth tens of millions or hundreds of millions, there shouldn't be any problems with the microphone anyway. If I knew there would be a problem, I would have replaced it in advance. At such a large-scale concert, it is impossible not to rehearse in advance, and it is impossible not to know in advance that there is a problem with the microphone. If such a problem occurs, then this team is really awesome. There were various signs that Gu Huiyan knew in advance that there was something wrong with this microphone, but he just couldn't bear to replace it, just because it was a gift from a fan. Gu Huiyan has really been using this microphone for a long time. He uses it in various large-scale occasions. After all, it was given to him by fans who attended the road show after his first album became popular. He's really touching like this, isn't he? There was no barrage at the scene, otherwise the classic sentence. He really, I cried to death. It's definitely going to blow up the screen, okay. To be honest, he can still use it until now. In fact, the original fan was already very satisfied, and the audience would not find anything wrong with him. After changing the microphone, Gu Huiyan's microphone continued to sing without any problems until the end of the concert. Some audience members could actually tell that when singing the next song Ordinary Friends, Gu Huiyan's voice sounded better than before. A microphone tailor-made for a singer can really highlight the superiority of the singer's voice to the greatest extent. In itself, Ordinary Friends is in the style of R/U0026B. When singing this song, Gu Huiyan's voice is more delicate. With a better microphone protrusion, the experience of the live audience will be better. Damn it, sometimes some viewers can't help but be curious, saying that Gu Huiyan's new microphone must be very expensive, right? Yes. Gu Huiyan was holding a concert today. Whether it was the clothes he was wearing or the stage, he gave people a very expensive feeling. Today, he really looks like a star, like a king. Occasionally, it will give people the feeling that he is really not the village boy he once was. No one dislikes him because he deserves to earn some money. But just because it was too rustic before, it suddenly became so expensive, fans will always feel very emotional. We are all still looking at each other, but you have turned into a noble man? Then at this moment, the cameras showed a close-up of the microphone in Gu Huiyan's hand, and many people almost couldn't hold their breath on the spot. Because on that microphone, there was actually. There is also a layer of wrapping paper. Why is there still wrapping paper on your microphone? Someone from the fans in the infield shouted. Gu Huiyan showed a distressed expression and said, "This thing is so expensive. What should I do if I accidentally drop it and scratch it on the ground?" It was as if the microphone was a very precious thing to him. Even though he could buy countless of it with the money he earned, this old man still acted like it was worthless. Ahaha. The audience laughed and made a fuss for a long time. Not only did they think it was expensive, but Gu Huiyan also thought it was expensive and felt distressed. While laughing, the sense of distance quietly disappeared. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, system points add 91x20. Gu Huiyan has such an awkward look. When everyone occasionally feels that they are far away from him, he can make him look embarrassed and suddenly close the distance between him and the audience. He's really a talented person, isn't he? It is worth mentioning that when singing Ordinary Friends, Gu Huiyan brought 2 guitar teachers and 3 high chairs, and sat elegantly in the center of the stage, playing and singing with everyone. Come on, a concert with a band teacher is really a safe and cool lineup, okay? When he sang the chorus, he would also hand over the microphone, and the whole audience would sing in chorus. But you said you love. I only wanna be your friend. At that time, Gu Huiyan's face was shown on the big screen, and it was really a look of surprise and surprise. This made him couldn't help but add a sentence at the end. Let me tell you, our fans are definitely the most professional in the industry. They are good at rap, R/U0026B, and all kinds of transpositions. Gu Huiyan was just one line away from making his debut, and if he was later, his labor and management would be out of business. They are really cruel. At that time, Gu Huiyan was surprised. Even the fancy and complicated transposition of Ordinary Friends was perfectly reproduced. That is, it's hard to imagine that there are 20,000 to 30,000 people in the stadium in front of you, singing together. The sound is so thick and complicated, but the tone is exaggerated and changes over and over again. Gu Huiyan has goosebumps, okay. Haha. Everyone at the scene laughed and felt quite proud. In fact, this was the reason why it was Gu Huiyan's first time to hold a concert. He didn't know that his fans were so good at singing. He would get used to it after a few more concerts. After singing Ordinary Friends, the atmosphere was really good. Everyone felt their adrenaline was soaring and in a state of excitement. They were looking forward to Gu Huiyan's next song. Even though some people's voices were a little hoarse when they shouted, they didn't care at all. Oh, I'm really satisfied with this one. Under the stage, the young woman Yao sat next to Xylan, waving her light stick and talking excitedly. Gu Huiyan is quite smart. He knows that always singing songs related to Pei Jingshu in his concerts is not good or interesting. It will always make everyone think about what happened between them, and it will be easy to become emo. A concert should be fun and lively. Various news related to Gu Huiyan has been emo for more than half a year, So it's time to be happier and more lively, right? It would be very boring to do emo after a concert. So after he said that he would not avoid Pei Jingshu, and after singing 2 songs related to Pei Jingshu as an opening, he avoided many songs related to Pei Jingshu, and sang farewell to the sad people. Listened to slow song cleverly turned around and diverted everyone's attention. It was the conductor and the dancers were disrupted. These arrangements are really quite satisfying. Xylin pursed her lips and smiled softly. When had she ever been dissatisfied with her brother? To be honest, she watched Gu Huiyan enthusiastically singing many songs on the stage, watching him interact with the audience and backup dancers, occasionally laughing, occasionally shouting, and occasionally fighting with others. Such a lively Gu Huiyan made her feel very comfortable and missed him very much. After the breakup incident, to be honest, she almost didn't recognize Gu Huiyan anymore. It felt like he had changed into a person who was indecisive and hesitant, making people dislike him and feeling a little distressed. In the past, he was always careless and careless. Because of this, Gu Huiyan in the past 6 months has been particularly contrasting. But now Gu Huiyan, who is performing happily on the stage and interacting with the audience, is more like the Gu Huiyan that Xylin knew. Do not know either. Are you in tune with each other? After singing Ordinary Friends, Gu Huiyan felt a little thirsty after singing several songs, so he went to get some water to drink. When he drank water through a straw, he just entered some intermediate stages. The big screen in the middle of the stage will catch some audience members and scan their faces. Many people will see some familiar faces on the big screen, many of them are celebrities, such as Shen Yuki, Su Xiun, Han Zionji, young woman Yao. And finally, the camera happened to stop at Siren. Oh. Maybe that face is not as recognizable as Pei Jingshu's. When it appears on the big screen, many Wei fans can scream. But after all, she is a well-known movie queen with high national popularity and a red carpet goddess. Even if she is wearing a mask and a hat, Xilin's face is recognized by everyone immediately. At that moment, the whole audience cheered. Xylin came to watch Huiyan's concert. You know, there was also a relationship between Gu Huiyan and Xylin, which was called Looking to the West with Full Minds. It's just that it's a bit old and it's been a long time, so many people have slowly forgotten it. After the end of Crystal Love season, Gu Huiyan and Xylin actually didn't have much contact. They only appeared together on Su Yuntang's food show. It was said on the internet that they had just completed a drama together some time ago. When will it be released? Not necessarily yet. Compared with the relationship between Gu Huiyan, Pei Jingshu and Shang Zuoyan, his relationship with Xylin seems very low-key. Even so, when he had a car accident, Xylin was the first one to be by his side, and she was also the first one to spread rumors. Thinking of this, and seeing that Xylin can still come to Gu Huiyan's concert, many viewers feel quite warm. After going through so many turmoils and being rumored in various ways, in the end, their friendship has not changed. My sister is always very low-key and supports my brother. It seems that she really did what she said. No matter who leaves, my sister won't leave. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 333. Sister Xylin. Gu Huiyan on the stage smiled and waved, obviously not pretending to be surprised. He also said, "This, I gave you the ticket, so I won't pretend to everyone that I just found out." Puff. Ha ha ha. Many viewers at the scene were directly off guard by Gu Huiyan's sincerity. I just want you, Lu, to consider our mood. Can you just say that you give away tickets casually? Even the team members the day after tomorrow looked helpless, Gu Huiyan was always so sincere. The sister in the audience smiled helplessly, then gently took off the white mask on her face, smiled at him and waved to the camera, saying hello. Oh! There were constant shouts at the scene, and it is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan's younger brother Gu Zun, isn't this guy just sitting behind Xylin? When the camera shows Xylin, it will also shine on him. Elder brother. Then, you can see this kid shouting on the stage as if he saw an opportunity to perform at this moment. The big screen camera happened to be here, and everyone could see his embarrassing scene. Gu Zun. Gu Huiyan's forehead was covered with black lines and he couldn't help but say, "Can you please stop embarrassing me? This is a concert with 20,000 to 30,000 people. Even if you want to show off and let people know that it's your brother on stage, you won't shout so loudly in Xylin's camera, right?" Puff. Ha ha ha. Many people laughed at the scene. Many people didn't know Gu Zun, so of course they would talk about it. Who is that kid? He seems to be Gu Huiyan's younger brother, his biological brother. Oh, Zundu is fake. Oh my god, I couldn't believe this guy just said that Gu Huiyan was his brother. We are indeed a family. Brother MD has a big eye, and my brother is not much better either. Before, Gu Zun yelled that Gu Huiyan was his brother, and no one around him looked down upon him. Now, even though he was scolded by Gu Huiyan, he finally recognized his identity. Enjoying the looks of people around him, this kid is quite proud. Crotch burning, Gu Huiyan's whole family's big eyesight incident can be considered completely confirmed. Gu Huiyan held his forehead silently and suddenly began to regret giving this boy a ticket. "Sister Xylin, please order a song." Seeing many people discussing the fact that their family had eye bags, Gu Huiyan thought about changing the topic quickly, otherwise he would be embarrassed. Oh! Many people at the scene brightened up and focused their attention on Xylin. They were really curious about what songs Xylin would order. The song requesting session is a unique session in concerts, but generally only singers with many masterpieces dare to do this. For example, Gu Huiyan, whose works are almost never unpopular, are all hits. I'm afraid that some true fans will pick up one or two unpopular songs that will get dust on the album. Songs that no one has heard at the concert may not sound good when they are sung, and they will be ignored. This is also the reason why many singers dare not arrange a song request session in their concerts. Crotch burning, there are also copyright factors. Obviously, Gu Huiyan has no such concerns. He owns the copyright of his songs, and almost all of his works are hits, so he is worried about it. Hello everyone. When the staff's microphone was given to Xylin, the sister gently flipped her hair and greeted everyone with a smile, looking very calm. After all, she has seen big events. How could her sister, who was a special guest on the red carpet of an international film festival, have stage fright at a concert with tens of thousands of people? What do you want to hear? On the stage, Gu Huiyan was standing there, holding a microphone and asking. Xylin was a little hesitant, not because there were too many masterpieces by Gu Huiyan and she didn't know what to order, but because she didn't know how Gu Huiyan arranged the song list later. For example, Sunny Day, such a big hit would definitely be placed in the middle section. She wanted to order it, but what if she ordered it and disrupted Gu Huiyan's arrangements later? She always thinks well. She thinks so, but others don't know. What's funny is that someone in the crowd booed and shouted. Contentment. This voice is the loudest. As soon as the words fell. Puff. Ha ha ha. The whole audience burst into laughter. Xylin didn't hold back. The hand holding the microphone gently covered her eyebrows, and she lowered her head while smiling. Someone said about that brother. You know how to cause trouble. Everyone knows that the song Contentment was sung to him by Gu Huiyan in the bar when Su Yuntang failed to confess to Xylin at the end of Crystal Love Season. Nowadays, Su Yuntang and Xylin rarely share the same screen. Although there are occasional marketing accounts that tie the two of them together to gain attention and gain popularity, they no longer have the slightest interaction with each other. Xylin, she is always avoiding Su Yuntang. And always by Gu Huiyan's side. These illusions have long been known to everyone with various marketing accounts on the internet. So now, when Gu Huiyan asks Xylin to order a song, and someone wants Xylin to order contentment, the program effect will naturally arise. Someone said, Su Yuntang is not here, but he is indispensable for everything related to Xylin. You. Gu Huiyan on the stage was so happy that he pointed at the brother and said, Security brother, get him out of here. This is just causing trouble. Ha ha ha. Everyone at the scene laughed, and Gu Huiyan's reaction was very real. It doesn't matter. On the other hand, Xylin, her sister, showed her maturity and intelligence to the fullest at this moment. She didn't care at all about the meaning of the song to them, she just smiled and said, Since someone likes it, let's go with contentment. Xylin is really generous. Even though she knows that singing this song will remind people of Su Yuntang and their relationship, she doesn't care at all. Although she didn't really want to click on this song, it seemed that it was very appropriate for her. Later, she turned out to be the most contented one. Oh! Many people at the scene gave Xylin applause and cheers. A generous person always deserves everyone's respect. Gu Huiyan was a little helpless. Sometimes he would regret how he sang the song Contentment. In the days that followed, this song seemed to tell everyone except Pei Jingshu, you be content. He did not refuse, returned to the piano, locked the microphone, and put his hands on the keys. Ding ding dong dong dong. The familiar melody was played by him easily. It is worth mentioning that when he sang Contentment, many people at the scene involuntarily became quiet and stopped making the same noise as before. This song always has the charm of making people calm down. And when everyone is quiet, no one really has the nerve to shout loudly. Probably, there was a stage arrangement for the song Contentment, so when Gu Huiyan started playing, some backup dancers came to the stage from various stage entrances. Dancing gracefully as Gu Huiyan plays. How to have a rainbow. How to hug a summer wind. The stars in the sky laugh at the people on the earth. I can't always understand or feel that it's enough. Gu Huiyan played, sang, and listened to this familiar melody. Because Xylin was present and the big screen on the stage also showed her face, many people seemed to have dreamed back to the scene in the crystal courtyard. Xylin always gets up early, but Gu Huiyan always gets up late. Even so, the old man still has to have breakfast every time, and every time his breakfast is different, all fancy and not braised. Beef instant noodles are fried dough sticks, tea eggs, and tofu. Even though everyone had disliked Gu Huiyan's breakfast, Su Yuntang and Zhang Shuo had never even eaten anything he cooked. But Xylin never failed to taste it with him. She didn't even let go of the fried dough sticks. In the days that followed, many people always said that Pei Jingshu was a husband-singing wife, but who could ever remember that Xylin had never disliked Gu Huiyan once? If I fall in love. Conductor Gu Huiyan came online again, stood up, and waved his little hand with the singing of birds and the fragrance of flowers. The whole audience sang loudly. Your smile. How to collect, how to own. If you're happy, it's not for me. Whether you let go is actually what you have. Gu Huiyan picked up the song in the next line. There are 3 large screens on the stage, with Gu Huiyan on the left, Xylin on the right, and in the middle are all the audience in the central control, as well as the red sea brought by the fluorescent sticks. Everyone can see what Gu Huiyan sang to Xylin. When a gust of wind blows, the kite flies to the sky. For you, I pray, I bless you, and I am moved. Finally, your figure disappears at the end of the sea of people. Just discovered. Laughing and crying. The worst pain. On the big screen, Xylin was a little moved, But did you say her eyes were wet with tears? That's not enough. She is a movie queen after all. She manages her expressions, her emotions, her tears, etc., etc., and she has always been very good at it. She just recalled the scene of their last separation. Thinking of eating rice noodles with Gu Huiyan, I really didn't want to see his state during that time. The phrase "I pray for you, I bless you, and I'm moved" really struck a chord with her. Although Zylan didn't show it deliberately, when it was her and Gu Huiyan's faces on the big screen, when everyone knew their story and listened to this song, I was indeed moved. There are always people's stories that are always exciting. Someone said, Gu Huiyan's concert is exciting at one moment, and tearful at the other. In fact, watching Gu Huiyan's concerts now is really enjoyable to watch. On the one hand, he is now approaching maturity and at his peak, both in terms of stage performance and singing skills. In the few explosive songs just now, whether it's Reverse War or Sad People Don't Listen to Slow songs, you can feel that he completely holds the place. Maybe he could do it in the past, but it was always a little green, especially during Shang Zuoyan's concert. You felt that he was not very relaxed. On the other hand, Gu Huiyan, who has gone through so many turbulences, will also be somewhat settled, and he has a stronger sense of story. Based on the fact that everyone knows the various stories between him and various people, when every song is sung, it will also be very touching. Memory kills, selling feelings, is something that will never go out of style. Later, everyone discovered belatedly that every song written by Gu Huiyan had a story that the audience had witnessed together. When they sing those songs, images of those stories will come to their mind. For example, when singing Reverse War, they will remember the first time Gu Huiyan sang it in the crystal courtyard to little Ayeo, who came to lead the horse with his brother, and the excitement of those primary school students. I also remember the scene where he was in the second half of the show at Shang Zuoyan's concert, just like AO2 Man. It's also like singing Ordinary Friends. Everyone will think of the oolong incident that Zhang Mi caused when he challenged Five on Hello Life Partner. It's more like singing Stubborn, and everyone can remember the inspiring words he said at the end of Crystal Love Season. Although, Gu Huiyan later did not achieve perfection as he said. But all the works he contributed to everyone have indeed failed any audience or fans. No matter whether he is right or wrong emotionally, at least he is definitely worthy of everyone who has supported him. It is precisely because of this that today's stadium with 20,000 to 30,000 people is packed with seats. Gu Huiyan came all the way. Really, everyone witnessed it all the way. The audience was actually quite emotional at this moment, quite touched, and some girls with strong empathy even cried. But who knew that Gu Huiyan, a veteran, would directly create the effect of the show when he sang the second half of the song? In the second half, he did not play the piano and gave the accompaniment to the band teacher. He stood up and followed the backup dancers. This was originally the arrangement, but in the middle of the song, when the backup dancers moved to move, he grabbed her hair. Puff. Ha ha ha. The audience was laughing like crazy at that time. God knows how funny it was on the stage with the confused and panicked look on the backing dancer's face. What's even more funny is that the backup dancer didn't hold back and hit Gu Huiyan with her pink fist. Gu Huiyan was singing at that moment, and the blow made him vibrate. You're an idiot. The audience can't stand it anymore. This old six is so good at causing trouble. Everyone thought that was the end of it, but who knew that the old six behind him seemed to be addicted to playing. After a while, he suddenly handed the microphone to the backup dancer, and gave everyone a confused look on his face but didn't answer. A while later, during the group dance, he suddenly handed the microphone to the dancer, running around so that the dancers can't find the C position and follow him. Ahaha. Everyone was laughing like crazy. Who would have thought that the second half of Contentment could be so funny? It feels like he's a little deliberate. The young woman Yao in the audience said with a gentle smile. Um. Xylan also smiled and nodded, smiling without saying a word. In fact, not only they could see this, but everyone present could see that Gu Huiyan really wanted to make everyone happy. In this scene, he really wanted to carry out happiness, just like the slogan of his song "Sad People Don't Listen to Slow Songs." Even when he sang the song Contentment, with Xylan there, he tried his best to create some program effects for everyone, so that Daji would not be emo. It's really pretty good. It seems that he has come out. Zhang Yao smacked her lips and said something like a sigh. Sometimes, as a bystander like them, you will feel that Shang Zuoyan is a time bomb that will explode at any time, affecting various things related to Gu Huiyan. Once she was gone, it seemed like everything was finally going to be okay. In response, Xylan just shook her head gently and said, "How come?" The second part she didn't say was, how could he get out before Pei Jingsha chased him back? Keep reading, she knew that Gu Huiyan had an arrangement. Huh. I don't know if he was tired from running back and forth with the backup dancer, but Gu Huiyan was out of breath when he finished singing Contentment. He was a big stage performer. He was running around while holding his breath while singing, just like you are holding your breath while swimming. It would be strange for Gu Huiyan not to take a breath after singing. Holding that level, Gu Huiyan took a few sips from the straw in his mouth. It was really uncomfortable to drink with a straw, so he simply threw the straw aside, opened the lid and poured it into his mouth with a gulp. Fortunately, it's winter now. If Gu Huiyan really had to run a sweat in the summer. Brother! Don't drink like this. There were staff members in the audience who reminded Gu Huiyan and told him not to drink like that and to use a straw. Straw. Let's popularize some trivia here. We can see that many celebrities and artists usually use straws when drinking water. Some people may say that is pretentious, but in fact it is really not. Celebrities use straws to drink water. On the one hand, it is to maintain makeup, especially lipstick. If you drink without a straw to your mouth, your lipstick will really need to be refilled every time you drink. The key is to drink it into your stomach, and it is easy to make the water dirty. Using a straw just doesn't have to be so particular. On the other hand, for singers, drinking water through a straw is less likely to cause choking because the water flow is small. Singer's voice is very precious. Choking during live performances can easily lead to stage accidents such as broken voices. These things should be avoided as much as possible, so the professional artist team will prepare straws when preparing water for the artists. The staff had told Gu Huiyan about these things during the rehearsal, and he was still wearing makeup today. But this guy is really used to being carefree. He has never used a straw to drink water, not to mention that the straw is so thin. Now I am tired from running and thirsty. How can I care so much? Haha. The camera was at Gu Huiyan's place at the time. Some people at the scene couldn't help laughing when they got to this point. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, system points add 91x10. At the same time, backstage. Pei Jingshu, is the scene ready? Zhang Ma, who was personally watching the formation and serving as the director of production, asked. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 334. Phew, so exhausted. After drinking the water, Gu Huiyan threw the bottle to his assistant. When he returned to the stage, the camera on the big screen was still capturing him. It is not difficult to tell that Gu Huiyan is a little tired. Even though the temperature today is not high and it is already the 12th lunar month of winter, his head still looks a little sweaty, as if it is hot. He himself said that he was exhausted. Many viewers don't feel sorry for him. Come on, this guy was having a lot of fun just now with the backup dancer. He was running here and there. He was so mean. Let alone the backup dancer, the audience wanted to hit him. Isn't it your fault that you are tired? Isn't it normal to be tired when you're running around by yourself? Crotch ran. Some viewers understand him, and may even be a little moved, because Gu Huiyan has sang 9 songs in a row from Missing is a Disease to the current Ordinary Friends, and he has never stopped. In the middle, he didn't even go down to change his clothes. The older generation of artists are actually okay. Nowadays, many young talents hold concerts, so they prepare sets of outfits. Basically, they have to change into one set of clothes after singing 1 or 2 songs. The crux of the problem is that their clothes are all flashy, and some of them are difficult to put on. Just getting dressed takes a lot of time. The audience had to wait while they were changing clothes. Not everyone had a guest at halftime, and the time it took for them to change clothes was enough for them to sing several songs. If you look at Gu Huiyan again, although this old man is a bitch, he sang 9 songs in a row without changing clothes or taking a break. At most he drank water. Do you think he is vain? You sing 9 songs in a row and only drink a few sips of water. Let's see if you are tired. There are only about 10 or 20 songs in a concert. If he didn't catch up on the schedule and sing while changing costumes, he would have already sang half of it, right? The audience is here to listen to the concert, to see the performance, not to see how long you drink, let alone to wait for you to change clothes. At this point, Gu Huiyan has done a good job, making everyone feel that it has been worthwhile so far. When it comes to dedication, Gu Huiyan really has nothing to say. It is worth mentioning that, probably because he was a little tired and kept standing and running, Gu Huiyan wanted to sit down for a while. At first, I wanted to ask the staff to bring a chair. Everything was prepared at the concert. It would be cool to get the high chair I used when I sang Ordinary Friends just now. But when he raised his hand, Gu Huiyan glanced at the edge of the stage, so he swallowed the words on his lips. He grinned, wiped a little sweat from his forehead, ran to the edge of the stage, and threw his butt just sitting on the edge. Ah! Those spectators in the front row of the infield were shouting like crazy. I tell you, if the security guy at the scene hadn't been pressing the guardrail with all his strength, they would have really been able to rush up and rush Gu Huiyan. Do you believe it? No, you guys. Gu Huiyan, who was sitting on the stage, was so happy watching that scene that he couldn't help but ask. Why do you look like a bunch of zombies? As soon as these words came out. Ha ha ha. Many people at the scene were happy. Indeed, from Gu Huiyan's perspective, looking at them blocked by the guardrail, they really looked like zombies in a doomsday movie. Okay, you guys have had enough fun, right? Gu Huiyan sat on the edge of the stage, in close contact with the audience. Sitting there was actually more at ease than standing, and he felt less pressured. He said. Then, how about we sing some new songs? The words fell. Oh. Good. Of course. Various calls began to ring out from the scene. Many people showed expressions of expectation, and at the same time they were quite satisfied with Gu Huiyan's arrangement. Concerts should be lively and fun, with some big choruses, showing off your skills and changing the tune when singing. In short, I want everyone to feel that it is worth coming. Before you come, because Paibonzu has not gotten back together, many people feel that some of Gu Huiyan's songs cannot be sung. Also because of the works in Stranded, some people say that this may be an emo concert. Gu Huiyan is a favorite. The melancholy little prince who is emotionally wounded has to keep outputting some emo works to them. But in this first half, you can clearly feel that there is no emo atmosphere at all. Even when singing, if you can, the melody will induce fantasy rather than directly emo. Needless to say, contentment goes without saying. In the second half, the old man almost got into a fight with the backup dancer to pull his hair out. Although, everyone can see some of his deliberateness. But he worked really hard in the first half and made everyone happy. He knew that once the new songs came out, everyone might not be able to sing in chorus, and they might not be able to be as high and happy as before, so before singing those new songs, he planned to make everyone happy. He really has avoided all the elements that would make everyone emo. Now, everyone is already very satisfied with the midfield performance. So in the second half, even if he sings a new song or emos, so what? What's more? When did Gu Huiyan's new song stop being worth looking forward to? Come on, band teacher. Gu Huiyan grinned, said hello to the band teacher behind him, and then shouted the song title. Suddenly I Miss You. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but while he was talking, the sky suddenly started to rumble, as if it was about to thunder. Oh! This made many viewers look to the sky while cheering. Their stadium was an open-air stadium. Gu Huiyan didn't put up a roof because he didn't think it would rain. But it seems that whenever anything related to Gu Huiyan comes up, the weather is not very good recently. The weather was not good on the day when Gu Huiyan participated in the New Year's Eve at Qingtai and shared the stage with Pei Jingshu. The weather was also not good when he and Shang Zuoyan went to Chongqing. I felt that Gu Huiyan was really at odds with rainy day when he came here. MD Gu Huiyan, they were all curious, had they offended the Dragon King? Ha ha ha. When the camera showed Gu Huiyan, Lao Lu looked helpless and looked up at the sky. Many viewers laughed like crazy. Smile, 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 smile. Gu Huiyan rolled his eyes and said angrily. Did you bring an umbrella? You'll get wet in the rain later, but you're still laughing. Then a female audience member shouted. You act like you're not even wet. They are all in the same open-air stadium, no one can say who is not protected from the rain. I'll make you mad if I hold an umbrella. Just a little bit. Gu Huiyan once again made many people laugh like this, and the audience was dumbfounded. Have you ever seen a singer who fights with his backing dancer by licking his hair and quarreling with his fans at a concert? Hey, this awesome thing. Dong dong. Amidst the laughter, piano, string music, etc. began to be played from the band teacher, and then passed to the ears of every audience through the speakers. Gu Huiyan, sitting as close as possible to the audience, on the edge of the stage, swaying his legs in the air, sang quietly. What I'm most afraid of is that the air suddenly becomes quiet. What I'm most afraid of is the sudden concern from my friends. The memories I'm most afraid of, suddenly rolling and cramping. It won't calm down. I'm most afraid of hearing news about you suddenly. Ah! Many people at the scene had goosebumps the moment Gu Huiyan spoke. It's funny, just now Gu Huiyan was exchanging words with the fans, and the fans were still saying that he had bags under his eyes. The atmosphere was extremely cheerful, but the moment he opened his mouth, you will find that he and the audience all fell silent. There is no longer so much ridicule and playful embarrassment on Lao Liu's face. He almost gets into the show in a second. You can't even imagine that the squinty eyes just now and the powerful singer now are the same person. The audience members who were quarreling with him in the infield were also very funny. MD just scolded Gu Huiyan for having bags under his eyes. When he turned around and opened his mouth, they all got goosebumps and collectively exclaimed. And you have to ask them how they managed to fall out of favor faster than turning over a book. They will tell you. Love is deep, hate is deep. How unpleasant it is to scold him in ordinary times, but how life-threatening it is to love him. I miss you, if there is a sound. No, that's a sad cry. Now that things have happened, I finally let myself belong to myself. Just tears. You can't fool yourself yet. Gu Huiyan sang this song Suddenly Miss You so much with a smile as much as possible. Of course, he smiled as much as possible. One thing that the vast majority of the audience at the scene should have heard many times is that those musical talents should be tortured severely so that they can write a lot of good quality songs. Indeed, this is best reflected in Gu Huiyan. The lyrics of this song Suddenly Miss You so much are really simple. There are no fancy words, just the most vernacular language. But I don't know why, this song is very poignant. From the four most afraid words in the first line of the lyrics to the tears before the chorus that still can't fool myself, this song Suddenly Miss You So Much really vividly interprets the state after a breakup. After the breakup, he was afraid of silence and the sudden concern from his friends. Of course, he was even more afraid of recalling the memories and hearing the news about her. Ah! Just thinking about these, many viewers couldn't help crying. Gu Huiyan is really cruel. Back then, they made Pei Ban Takes Care of CP known to everyone on the internet, and because of the breakup incident, they caused a storm in the city. They let everyone know their story, and then wrote about them. The song is related to the story. When everyone listens to it, they can think of their past. Then, I burst into tears. At this moment, many people are thinking, no wonder so many people are scolding him, this old six really deserves to be scolded. Gilu gilu. It is worth mentioning that before Gu Huiyan sang the chorus, the sky started to gurgling, as if it was going to rain. He was probably caught up in the drama, but Gu Huiyan didn't care about the weather at the moment. He sang the most touching song. Suddenly I miss you. Where will you be? Live happily or feel aggrieved? Suddenly I miss you. Sudden sharp memories. Suddenly blurred eyes. During the chorus, even though many people laughed loudly at the effect of Gu Huiyan's show, they still couldn't help but shed tears. In the words of Shang Zuoyan, that is, Gu Huiyan, this stinky bastard, why do you always have to sing so sensationally and deeply into people's hearts? Many of his recent works have always been somewhat controversial, such as Code, which does not sound like it was written for Pei Jingshu. Although the voice is small, there is always doubt. But the song Suddenly Miss You So Much, no matter who it is or what it says, it is definitely written for Pei Jingshu. Listen to what he sings. Suddenly I miss you so much, where will you be, happy or miserable? He is really using the shortest lyrics to sing the most poignant feeling, okay. Compared to the chorus, the verse of this song is more like writing about them. Listen. We are like the most beautiful song. It turned into two sad movies. Why did you take me through the most unforgettable trip? Then stay. The most painful souvenir. Maybe they were touched by this song. Maybe the song was so touching. Many people were so absorbed in the breast story and Gu Huiyan singing that they didn't notice when Gu Huiyan left the edge of the stage and stood up. Center stage. Not to mention when, he had an electric guitar handed to him by the staff. Do. Logically speaking, electric guitar should not be used for such an emotional song. After all, the first thing many people think of when it comes to melody related to electric guitar is that it is very irritating and boring. For example, Reverse War, or Possessed. But at this moment, Gu Huiyan was using practical actions to explain that an electric guitar can also be very affectionate. Ah! Many people were really crying and shouting at the same time. There is no doubt that this song Suddenly Miss You So Much is comparable to Sunny Day to a certain extent. Look at that lyric. The sentence we are like the most beautiful song, turned into two sad movies, how it seems to be written by him and Pei Jingshu. There is no need for them to tell you how sweet they were in the past. You can go and review every scene and picture of them in the same frame, from Crystal Love Season to a gourmet to Hello Life Partner, which candy in the same frame as Pei Ban Takes Care of CP doesn't pry open your mouth and stuff it into your mouth. Even if you don't open your mouth, it will go into your nostrils. They were not what they sang in the song, it was really like the most beautiful song. But now and after the breakup, neither of them is doing well, and both of them are abusing each other. And similarly, the countless viewers who witnessed their journey were the main targets of abuse. They went from the most beautiful song to two sad movies. This description is very suitable for the entertainment industry that Gu Huiyan is engaged in, and it allows everyone to understand this metaphor most intuitively. It is really appropriate and beautiful. At that moment, many people felt the same aggrieved and depressing feeling they had when listening to Stranded. I feel like I want to scream and ask them to stop abusing me and ask them to get back together as soon as possible. Fortunately, this song Suddenly Miss You So Much is not as boring as Stranded. Gu Huiyan then sang out all the thoughts in their hearts. He put his hand on the microphone on the stand and sang loudly. Us. So sweet, so beautiful, so trusting. There was a time when it was so crazy and so passionate. Why us? We still have to run towards our own happiness and regrets and grow old. Suddenly I miss you so much, where would you be? Live happily or feel aggrieved? Suddenly I miss you. Crash. When Gu Huiyan sang that the clouds that had been gurgling for most of the day finally brought a lot of rain. The lights on the stage were very strong. Under such light and effect, the rain fell in the dark night, and it was as if it was setting the scene for Gu Huiyan. He sang such passionate songs in the wind and rain, soaring high notes. The stage speakers brought all the music and his singing to the ears of every audience. Ah! Many people at the scene were shouting crazy, and the goosebumps could even make a pot of goosebumps soup, right? Some people didn't shout during the last few songs, and they kept their voices just to wait for this moment. It is true that many people come here for high-quality songs that can be used in chorus, but there are also many people who come here for works like Suddenly Miss You So Much, performed by Gu Huiyan, that can sing the story between him and Pei Jingxua. What's funny is that some audience members broke their light sticks. Full. Too full. The feeling this song gives people is really enjoyable. To the fullest. From the arrangement, to the lyrics, to the connotation, to the story, to the love affair that Gu Huiyan as a singer is well known to. It vividly interprets all the stories, all the feelings between them, and all the expressions that can be sung from Gu Huiyan's perspective at this moment to everyone. Ah! At this moment, many people were crying and thinking, why is Pei Jingxu not here today? Today, she deserves to be here more than the 20 or 30,000 people present. If she were here, she would be the one who cried the most, and she would also be the one who resonated most deeply with the story of Suddenly Miss You So Much. Because she is the heroine in the story? But why? She is not here. Many people really feel that it is a pity. Pei Jingxu should be here, and Gu Huiyan should sing this song in front of her. There is really no girl who can refuse Gu Huiyan who sings this song. At this moment, even though many people knew that it was Gu Huiyan's responsibility for Pei Ban's care to leave, they also wanted to forgive Gu Huiyan. The idea that Pei Jingxu should be here probably appeared in many people's minds at this moment. Gu Huiyan, how could he not know? And that surprise is about to be given to everyone present. Immediately.